This slave kid mastered his master's entire secret technique just by sneaking a peek once, even fixing its flaws to create a fifth version, turning the original sword style into something insanely dangerous. But even so, he got brutally beaten by two useless jerks. They acted like spoiled stepbrothers, so he didn't dare fight back or he'd get kicked out. Just as Tu Van Heerp was about to pass out, a forgiving figure appeared to stop them. It was young Miss Tiet Trungwin, the very person he was supposed to protect, now protecting him instead. Back in his room, he vowed to free her from this hellhole. Right now, her father, the head of the Tit family, is being manipulated by that wicked stepmother Thoi Tan Mir and her kid. She's hell-bent on seizing all the family's wealth by any means necessary. She already forced her stepson, young Master Titu Pham, to leave home to save the clan, and now she wants to marry off young Miss to some stranger. Time's running out fast. Thanks to the old butler's help, Tu Van Heep got his hands on a secret technique manual. To others, it's just a basic breathing technique, but for him, it grants a strange power drawn from the world's chi. The original master must have been insanely strong. After mastering the moves for a while, one day someone reported the butler's disappearance. Tu Van Heerp guessed he was investigating and got assassinated by Thoi Tan Mir. Sooner or later, he'd be next, so it was time to bail. After a long journey, Van Heerp chose a mountain peak to cultivate. Despite grinding hard, he still couldn't perfect the sword style. His hands trembled holding the sword, making his forehead crease in frustration. Why does the sword wobble so unstable every time I reach the finishing stance? I only know the white-grained sword art, so I'm giving it my all to study it. Lost in thought, Van Heerp's eyes suddenly locked onto a fox standing on a rock without him noticing. Suddenly, Van Heerp shouted, making the fox jump. A second later, it went back to its cold self and lunged at him. I thought it wanted to fight, but nope, the fox was just after the food bag on Van Heerp's back, snatched it, and ran off. That's my food now. Trying to chase after the food no matter what, Van Heerp noticed something weird. How could that white-tailed fox move freely with such tiny steps, barely using the strength of its feet, only the tips of its toes? Could it be that the Ainif sword art isn't about palm strength but focusing power on the fingertips? Think and act. Van Heerp tested his sword, and sure enough, the blade moved way more naturally and exactly where he wanted. All right, the answer's in my hands. That night, Van Heerp hid in a cave to focus on internal cultivation. His breathing level now helped a lot with healing his body. Still, many things bugged him. I thought internal power was better than this. But the problem is, I don't have any martial arts to use it with. Should I study animal movements? Like a snake slithering on the ground, reptiles have no limbs, so their movement is simple, or the quick hops of a rabbit. But that's too chaotic. Or the flowing swim of a carp. Van Heerp's head hurt from thinking but couldn't find a solution. Suddenly, a moth appeared out of nowhere. He raised his wooden sword to threaten it. Van Heerp swung left. It dodged right. He swung right. It flew left. No hand could touch it. Van Heerp suddenly realized a new truth. The movement of butterfly wings. A whole year flew by, and the once weak guy had grown way stronger, each sword strike like a crushing blow. Until the wooden sword moved as smoothly as butterfly wings, he kept repeating and tracing its path. This sword style he created can't be perfectly performed with a wooden sword. I have to focus on the trajectory itself, not the sword's shape, using the sword's path to recreate the butterfly's motion. Van Heerp unleashed the first move, then the second, third, and fourth. The final decisive strike shattered the wooden sword in his hand. The day this sword style was perfected was when the wooden sword said goodbye, reminding him to find his own new path. Van Heerp hesitated about leaving. If I go down the mountain, I need to find a real sword first, something flexible to hold all these moves. Still, the moves are done, so I'm satisfied for now. Next up is perfecting the butterfly No. Blood butterfly sword art. Once I finish cultivation, I'll head down and search for young Miss Two Wind's trail. Even if it takes years, I'll find the enemy who destroyed the Tit clan and get revenge. When that's over, the day will come to face off against the great young master. At that moment, the person Van Heerp mentioned appeared young Master Tit Tu Pham, who took the dark path to gain power. Those who follow the path of dark arts risk being possessed by evil when cultivating martial arts. More than half will fall into a life of crime. They lose control over their power, either ending their own lives or facing punishment. Yet, some dark path followers manage to live as true martial artists, mastering their own will. I, Trung Heerp, am the top martial artist, one of the 10 great masters of the martial world, known as the Demon Hero. Besides these two, the rest of the 10 masters are from the righteous sects leading the martial world. Though they are dark arts experts, they uphold honor and justice. This place is Heavenly Demon City, home to the demon hero Cath Van Hatch. Scene shifts to Cath Van Hock's house, where he's racking his brain, face pale. After moving the Lien move, Mirlan already beat her grandfather. Sis won again, Grandpa. She's won 3 matches straight. You promised to teach her martial arts. Van Hotch trembles, refusing. I'll do anything for you, but teaching martial arts is too dangerous. Mirlan looks at him with sorrowful eyes. Could the demon hero really break his promise? The two never cared much about this vow to her. Seeing Mirlan cry, Van Hotch is at a loss. Don't think like that. Inside, he feels like he's burning alive. Mirlan's Go skills have improved a lot. If this keeps up, I'll have to teach her martial arts. I plan to teach her Go to keep her away from martial arts. But how did it end up like this? Kath Van Hack is a martial prodigy, truly deserving his reputation. Actually, in his youth, he was just a scholar, uninterested in martial arts. But someone who spent all day reading and playing Go is a genius sent by heaven. Even his master had to persuade him to enter the martial world. Kath Van Hack's family also followed scholarly paths, ignoring martial arts. But his niece, the Golden Jade Gem Mir Lan, is extremely interested in martial arts. When she was little, she wanted to punch his shoulder whenever she saw him, but now she just wants to learn martial arts from him. A subordinate reports to the Lord. A young hero wants to meet you for a duel like others. He looks quite strange, so I come to ask your opinion. Hearing this, Van Hotch brightens up. It's been a while since he had a challenger. With this chance, the city lord must meet him personally. Mirlan panics from behind. Grandpa, wait, what about me? Van Hotch coldly walks away. Lan Ni says, he'll be back soon. We'll talk then. Lan Ni is furious. He left again. Van Hotch and his men head out to see who dared challenge him. Is that the guy? A young man wants to step onto Heavenly Demon City's arena? What's his name? The guy replies, Tu Pham, no last name. Call me no Tu Pham. I'm here to challenge the city lord. The men are shocked. What? He wants to fight the lord? They point at Tu Pham. What did you say? Someone like you challenging Heavenly Demon City's lord? That's disrespectful, looking for death. Tu Pham respectfully replies, I don't dare duel the city lord. No matter what, I just want to learn from him. Van Hotch silently judges he's acting rough, but is actually humble, serious, upright, and commanding. It's been a while since I felt this. Van Hotch asks, you know how to play Go? Tu Pham Bos, I Zu. Van Hotch issues a challenge. I accept your duel, but if you want to step onto Heavenly Demon City's arena, you must first beat me in a Go match. Challengers here must play Go first, since many have come to challenge before. So Van Hotch uses this game as the opening battle. Though it looks like just Go, skilled players are often great fighters. To control the opponent's pieces and attack, you need to think hard. If you can read their moves, you grasp the foundation and build your advance. Go can trap the opponent's pieces, forcing them down a losing path. If you only know how to play but don't think, you won't win. But you also can't change the outcome with just natural talent or smooth talk. In the martial world, only one person with divine strategy has beaten me, but only by one game. Night is falling. Mir Lan and others wait outside, curious. It started, he's still ahead. The subordinate reports. 3 games played, Lord 1-1, miss. Mir Lan quickly realizes the second game is still unpredictable. It's been a while with no clear winner. The guy's moves are anything but ordinary. Geniuses, no matter how smart, make mistakes over time. But this young man is different. The pieces on this board reflect the player's personality and nature. If smart and quick-witted, moves flow like water. If strong and determined, moves stand like mountains. He holds his ground like a rock, never missing the opponent's pieces. How should I fight someone this tough? It's already way past midnight, but the match still hasn't ended. Meanwhile, Van Hotch keeps chatting and playing Go with him, growing more curious. Why does he want to challenge the Heavenly Horse City? With his talent, he could join any sect he wanted. Tu Pham honestly shares, I could have way better skills than I do now. My soul is that of a fierce beast. But right now, I'm just a cub. With proper training, I'd become an unstoppable beast. Plus, my internal technique is a righteous one. Surely I'm the young master of some famous family, so why am I like this? Van Hotch has a lot of questions he can't answer yet. Tu Pham hesitates before confessing, I really have something I need to accomplish. Someone's waiting for me, a precious person I can't bring along. There's also someone who spent their whole future waiting for my return. Because I swore to them, I must push forward quickly. To reach that goal, I have to move fast and never stop. Van Hotch nods in admiration. That's decisive, no hesitation. You'll definitely succeed and do great things. As long as you don't get distracted by too many thoughts. Tu Pham's face suddenly turns panicked. Huh? The situation changed. While I was lost in thought, I got surrounded. Did it come at me too fast, right when I was deep in my mind? Just as expected, truly a formidable opponent. Tu Pham sadly lowers his head in defeat. Van Hotch asks, You want to duel me, right? You really want that, don't you? Tu Fam honestly replies, I don't dare think about winning against the city lord. But if I get to duel someone noble like him, I'm sure I'll awaken something big inside. Van Hach grows more fond of Tu Fam, impressed by his humble attitude. What a great guy. Alright then, enough talk. Why's Lan Ni been sneaking peeks all this time? Get in here now. Hearing his call, Lan Ni breaks into a sweat from nervousness. Van Hach introduces Mi Lan to Tu Fam. This kid is my niece, Mi Lan. Playing Go like this isn't just about betting on wins or losses but for fun. Of course, that doesn't mean breaking the rules we've set. What do you think about dueling Lan Ni, my niece whom I personally train? Though she's new, she's already getting used to cultivating martial arts. This is also a good chance for Lan Ni to test her skills. Van Hach silently calculates. But if we're dueling, we'll need to wait a few more days. While waiting, maybe we can play at least one more Go match. Mirlan is shocked to see her grandpa making decisions on his own like that. Wait, you just started teaching me martial arts recently, and now you're saying I have to duel this young master? Lately, he's been finding excuses not to teach me for 3 sessions already. Van Hach clears his throat with a chuckle. Lan Ni, this young master is about your age anyway. Mirlan immediately snaps back. Then you better train me properly before asking. If you want me to duel, you can't miss any training sessions next week. Van Hach laughs heartily. Of course, alright then. I'll leave it to the young master. Tu Fam quietly guesses the old man might not be too keen on his niece learning martial arts. Time passes, and the day of their duel finally arrives. A huge crowd fills the Demon Path First City. All the martial artists in the city flock here after hearing about the duel. People start whispering when they see Tu Fam. That's the guy. The fearless one who dared to challenge the city lord. You can tell just by looking he's stubborn as hell. It's a massive crowd, but even more surprising is the intense anger they radiate. Now, that rage flows like gentle waves. If something happened in the city, that anger would be like a tsunami, strong and shaking everything. But the city lord has always controlled them. Once again, I realize how amazing he is. My opponent is the niece of such a powerful figure. I can't let my guard down. Van Hach sits high up and calls down, Hey, grumpy guy, this atmosphere seems to be putting a lot of pressure on you, huh? Van Hach's wife, Tua Turan, is extremely annoyed by her husband's actions. City lord, don't you find it funny trading your niece for a few Go matches with that guy? Van Hach pretends to reply, It's not that serious. Turan quickly exposes his true face. Nothing else but. Because of this duel, that young man stayed here longer. During that time, all he cared about was playing Go. Lan Ni adds, He said he'd never teach me martial arts because it's too dangerous. Why would you let her duel a guy she just met? Van Hach quickly said, Don't say too much. You don't really know Lan Ni's personality. I already checked him thoroughly. This fight uses the heavenly demon sword, so it's all good. As she stepped into the arena, Mirlan humbly said, Please bro, I'm way behind you in age and skill. Could you cut me some slack? Tu Fam agreed easily. Young miss, you're too modest. Fine, go ahead. Mirlan flashed a sly smile. No need for formalities then. She pounced like a beast hunting prey, fiercely charging at Tu Fam. He quickly raised his sword to block the blow. The moves were seriously impressive, and both started to get hyped about their opponent. Mirlan placed a hand on Tu Fam's shoulder and said, Just as expected, bro, you completely blocked that strike. Mirlan used her full strength, leapt high, flipped midair, then landed. She immediately thrust her sword forward. Luckily, Tu Fam smartly dodged to the side, or he'd be hurt for sure. As Mirlan attacked, Tu Fam also blocked with his sword. Definitely not an opponent to underestimate. Mirlan's attacks kept getting stronger. Tu Fam slowly stepped back and spun to kick, but she reacted fast, leaning back to dodge. Losing momentum, Mirlan fell backward, dangerous move. But Mirlan quickly regained her composure and jumped back. Tu Fam silently admired her quick adaptability. Mirlan also started to respect her opponent. His flexible judgment and speed meant one slip-up would be fatal. Grandpa really has an eye for talent. Well done, bro. This is the first time I've met someone who gets me this hyped. Let's see if bro can handle this sword move. Here it comes, and his stance looks totally different from before. Mirlan soared into the air, swiftly unleashing the snow cloud sword technique. Kirkma just recognized the move and lightly parried with his sword. Mirlan's combo earned praise from a close friend. Snow Mountain Demon's secret art. I'm thrilled Lan Ni's so skilled with illusion swords, just like the disciple I trained. The old friend teased, trained? More like he lost a bet and stole her all to himself. From the start, Mahirp didn't miss a single strike from Mirlan. After some time apart, Lan Ni's skills improved a lot, and her moves were nearly perfect. But the guy didn't flinch even with the sword at his throat. Instead, he caught all her illusions with sharp eyes. From Kirkma's subtle actions, even someone like Ma Hirp could tell. His adaptability and reaction speed are insane, fearless against sword strikes, and his persistent gaze probing the opponent has a reason. That bright look has weathered many storms. He's definitely battle-hardened, no doubt. After dodging many attacks, Ma slowly drew his sword from behind and gently launched the snow cloud sword technique. His move shocked Mirlan and the crowd. Seen a thief like this? He didn't learn properly, but copied my snow cloud sword? Ma Hirp was surprised too. Where the heck did that kid come from with those moves? Ma slashed upward at his opponent. Mirlan smirked and said, "You learned swordplay just by watching, yet your technique is that good? Bro keeps surprising me. But thanks to you catching my moves, I've overlooked something. Predicting attacks is way easier now. Too bad, but my skills go beyond that." Mirlan flipped mid-air and struck with a new move. "Can you block this?" Demon Horse 7 Swords. A deadly blow slammed down on Ma, who quickly blocked it. They exchanged one final move to end the fight. Their last burst of power covered the arena in dust and smoke, leaving the crowd clueless about the winner. After a moment, it was clear they were evenly matched, a draw. Mrs. Totur-An finally exhaled. Truly the granddaughter of Ma Hirp. Mirlan stood straight and sincerely bowed. "Bro, you fought hard. That was an awesome duel." Ma politely returned the bow. "A martial artist like you, young miss, I've learned a lot. I've heard countless talents roam the Jianghu, but meeting you made me truly understand that." Ma Hirp, watching from above, praised them both. They'd both worked hard, and it had been ages since such a clutch duel was seen, but he didn't forget to warn the youngsters. However, Bro's gratitude shouldn't be just for Lan Ni. Maybe Bro should pay respects to those who created the Snow Cloud Sword and Demon Horse 7 Swords? That comment left Wuxia quite stunned, almost falling over. Mirlan couldn't help but be shocked, stammering as she asked again. "Does that mean the young master has already mastered the entire Yuma 7 Swords?" "Sure, the young master is gifted, but isn't that a bit too much to believe?" Up here, Wuxia Quach, the creator of the Yuma sword technique, couldn't hold back his rage. "Lan Ni's right, there's no way some brat who still wipes his nose can memorize my moves after just one duel. This sword technique took me decades to create, it's just impossible." Ma stayed silent and motionless, which only made Wuxia Quach's anger explode even more. He kept provoking him. "Don't keep hiding like a clam, might as well show everyone a real show." Since people were so eager to watch, Ma had no choice but to perform a few moves. Sure enough, after just a few strikes, Ma executed the Yuma 7 Swords flawlessly, leaving Mirlan stunned, and Wuxia Quach so shocked he could barely speak. No way did he really memorize the entire sequence just by watching. Where the hell did this freak kid come from? Ma stepped forward and honestly admitted his fault. "If remembering how the sword moves counts as stealing, then I don't want to be part of any faction like those dishonorable dark cultivators. From now on, I won't use the Yuma 7 Swords technique again." The dark warrior laughed loudly, mocking Oan, calling him bold for mixing all the sword techniques of others. "Relax, it's better to learn from a master's secret art. The sword techniques of the 8 great protectors of Thien Ma Than will definitely benefit you. If you focus on the Yuma 7 Swords, you might just become a top-tier fighter." Outwardly, he said this. But secretly he used a voice transmission to speak to Ma. "You just listen, no need to reply. I've been waiting for someone like you for a long time." After the dark warrior finished, Ma politely responded, "I understand what you mean, but I don't want to become a disciple of dark cultivators." This immediately pissed off the dark warrior. "You brat, you're still so cocky to the very end? You talk way too nicely, huh? How dare you insult dark cultivators? I told you, my master looks up to the heavens and lives shamelessly." The dark warrior grew more furious, his power radiating stronger as he lectured Ma relentlessly. "Those so-called dark and white cultivators, the ones who split factions and cause bloodshed in this world, it's not me. But the person you'll later call master who will teach you. Those who divide this world into black and white, thinking the two can't coexist, are playing a dangerous game. To me, can you survive as just a white pawn? Do you really think this world exists in only one color? People like you should have been wiped out from the start." The dark warrior unleashed his dark power straight at Ma, who couldn't dodge in time and got completely overwhelmed. The power was so overwhelming that Mirlan, standing outside, fell to the ground. Her eyes filled with worry as she looked at Ma. Just as expected, Ma lay unconscious, battered and broken. Wuxia Quach rushed over in panic, wanting to stop it. "Why is the city lord suddenly like this?" The dark warrior's anger hadn't cooled. He shouted right in his face. "He dared insult my master. Dared to disgrace Thien Ma Than. He's way too arrogant, looking at the world so shallowly, turning dark cultivators into a joke." Mirlan had never seen him so furious he'd hit someone this hard. She wanted to speak up but didn't dare. Vorthua Quach wanted to defend Kirkma since he was still young and reckless, but the city lord ignored him and quickly ordered Van Lin and Thon Lin Meng to throw Kirkma into Tungyam Mountain, warning everyone, "Whoever dares to save him, I'll take their head." Vorthua Quach and 2 disciples of Mathan took Kirkma to Tungyam Mountain, left him there, and left. Though reluctant, Thuakwash had to obey the city lord. Kirkma lay there until dusk before waking up. He struggled to pull out a secret manual from his body. It was the secret manual containing the Yuma 7 Swords martial art. Earlier, Vuthua had secretly given it to him. Receiving the manual, Kirkma regarded Vuthua as his master and felt grateful. "I've sensed the danger of Thimathan. I'll remember that the world can't be divided into black and white." He looked at his muddy hands, recalling what happened at Mathan. On the surface, the city lord wanted him to call him master, but what the dark warrior really said to him alone was, "Just listen and don't reply. I've been waiting for someone like you for a long time. You might have many questions, but for now, be silent and listen to what I say. If this truth leaks out, over half the fighters of Thien Mathan will kill you. Keep this secret until you fully understand everything I teach you. First, I'll help you escape safely from here. Then you can do as you wish." That's why when the city lord attacked Kirkma, he didn't dodge but stood still and took the hit. "I never thought I'd call a dark martial artist my master, but looks like I'm already one step behind because the demon hero has helped me a lot. So, the demon hero is my first master, and now, please be my second master." Speaking of one of the 10 great escort agencies representing Henan, the Jin Thon Escort Agency is famous for its reliability, with any kind of transport and scale. For an escort agency, trust and reputation are life itself. One day, something that shouldn't have happened did someone swap the entrusted goods during transport, without anyone noticing. Not only that, ambushes during transport happened frequently. The head of Jinthon Escort Agency personally escorted the goods to restore the agency's damaged honor. However, even the head was ambushed by a suspicious force, seriously injured and bedridden. Starting with Jin Thon, the 10 great escort agencies began to fall one by one. At that moment, a new force called the Thon Long Escort Agency started taking over, clearly signaling a bigger conspiracy. Jin Thon Escort Agency had already lost its strength and could only try to maintain its name. Don't let Jin Thon's head, Song Lichao, lose sleep over this. The house is already mortgaged, what else is there to lose? I can't just sit around anymore. I just need to find an escort warrior to help with this transport. Her pained expression made her younger brother, Song Lihan, remind her, "Sis, stop making that face. You're the head of the agency. If you keep sulking like that, it'll make everyone uneasy." Li Xiao nodded and asked her brother about finding an escort warrior. Lihan found someone but still felt uneasy. How to put it? They seem capable, but kinda unpredictable. Li Xiao brushed it off, anyone will do. If we're escorting goods, ambushes are guaranteed. Having an escort warrior skilled in martial arts would at least make things a bit safer, even if just a little that's worth testing. Li Xiao met the two of them, and just as her brother said, she still had doubts. Plus, one of them wore a hat that covered his face. She looked at them and thought they weren't fit to be escort warriors. But as the agency head, she had to be objective, not judge by appearances. The blue-haired guy spoke first. "So, what goods are we escorting? Just so you know, I'm already aware of Jin Than's situation. If you give me clear instructions, I'll handle it without any issues." Li Xiao hesitated but decided to trust them and revealed the truth. "We're escorting horse-drawn carts, meaning livestock transport. Though you know we've been ambushed, robbed of the entrusted goods, and lost all trust and honor, even though my father was injured trying to protect the goods until the end, as the agency head, I will definitely restore Jin Than's reputation." Before Li Xiao could finish, one of them cut her off. "How effective do you think that will be? Do you really think that method can rally the fallen 10 great escort agencies?" Li Xiao was startled that he understood her point so quickly, so she defended herself. "The most important thing is to find out how despicable Thon Long Escort Agency really is." The guy stood up, scolded her, and withdrew. "Are you naive or just stupid? I'm out, let's end this conversation properly." His rude behavior made Li Xiao furious. She stood up and shouted at him. "Hey, I appreciate you helping us, but you have no right to judge our situation." The blue-haired guy sighed, pulled his brother's hand away, then turned to calm the agency head and suggested continuing the discussion. The other guy stormed outside, looking up at the tall trees and taunting. "About 8 of you? I know you're hiding, come down here now." Inside, the blue-haired guy carefully reminded Li Xiao. "First, agency head. For safety, gather all Jin Thon members in one place immediately." After saying that, he also went outside with his brother. The three of them saw the guy with the hat surrounded by masked men. 2 or 3 started attacking him to distract and kill agency head Li Xiao. The blue-haired guy dashed out like an arrow, taking down 2 assassins with a single sword strike. We're discussing the goods escort route if the agency head dies before I get the entrusted money. That'd be a huge problem. The blue-haired guy's insane power impressed Le Xiao. Meanwhile, the hat guy wiped out the remaining attackers. The annoyed guy took off his hat and cursed, "Hey, can't you finish off Deng Hong?" And none other than the masked man all along was Van Heap. Bodies littered the ground as Han Bi looked at them and asked what to do next. Van Heap said to hide them in the house first, so the enemy can't find the bodies. Then he said to Le Xiao, "Boss, is everyone safe and sound?" "Miss Dapp, everything's fine." Everyone was mentally prepared for this day to come, and everyone evacuated safely. Han Bi sighed. Having this happen late at night, and they couldn't even last one round before causing chaos here. He glanced with disdain. Some can't even take down one guy. Han hurriedly defended. "Aunt Ko, I told you I'd protect the boss." Van Heap said being a hunter means doing this naturally, nothing to brag about. The atmosphere suddenly tensed up. Le Xiao thought both were top-tier experts with outstanding strength. She didn't know why they were only rank 3 hunters, but these guys could be the shining light for rebuilding Camthan's hunter bureau. Looks like the situation was handled. Then she spoke up. "If you 2 brothers are good, I want to continue our earlier conversation. Could it be that the brother really is the infamous pain demon?" They had drinks together. How long had it been since they last drank? Han Bi agreed. Le Huan still stared at him in shock. Yen Han Bi, the guy who looks like a demon, took down both the northern twin demons and Tan Duko. He took a sip of wine and corrected himself. "Young Master Tong, I'm not some demon-looking guy. I'm the pain demon." He curiously asked again, "By the way, where's the guy who came with you?" He replied, "That butterfly-loving young guy? He said he'd check around for a bit and come back later. He's a level-headed guy, not sure if it's natural or what. I've only known him a short while." This time Le Xiao was surprised. "You 2 haven't known each other long?" He answered reluctantly. "Long story, I met him just 2 months ago." He went back to the previous topic, heard it was a shady gambling den, so he hesitated if it was worth it. "Here's my money." He's tall, and that annoying guy, the one who almost ruined my good deal. Can't believe he made money from such illegal gambling. He also carried a sword, meaning he knew martial arts. Time's up, maybe I should try gambling with him. He secretly waited from behind, then appeared. Unexpectedly, Van Heap suddenly stopped and said, "Hey, that guy seems like a stranger who hides to scam others, right? And that sharp knife, is it for threats?" He was surprised, raising his sword. "Ever heard of Yen Han Bi?" "Yeah, I've got some business to settle with you, but first, I gotta scold you. Follow me, I'll show you how vast this world really is." Van Heap thought. So he came with a plan. Let's see. They found a quiet, open spot. Han Bi said, "This place is good, no one can see us." Van Heap laughed. "Right, I'm the only one who witnessed your embarrassing moment when I knocked you down." He replied, "Big talk. Let's see how long you can last. What's your name?" He said no name was worth mentioning, but before starting, he had a question. "How does your strength compare to the great master Lambok? You look like a martial arts master, but I know nothing about you." He laughed. "That? If you beat me, I'll tell you." Then he charged. Van Heap quickly blocked. Han Bi was shocked. He actually took his sword strike head-on? Not bad. The fight was intense. Han Bi decided to go all out. Van Heap didn't underestimate him. Suddenly he stepped back. "I get it now, just from a few moves. I see you're really strong, and I'm stronger than many others." Han Bi angrily said, "What? You purposely used strong sword strikes to dodge my attacks?" He replied, "Finally, you gave me a chance to make a name. Pretending to be triggered when provoked but cautious in battle. And you even understood my intentions." Han Bi reluctantly said, "All right, you win this time." Van Heap continued, "Let's bet this time. If you win, I'll hand over all the casino winnings and all the info I have. I'll help you until all your work is done. If I win, you help me for half a year without complaining. How's that?" "This time, be serious, I'm not joking like before." Han Bi thought. So this guy won't let me change terms. He wants to attack right away? Can I trust him? I'm kinda exhausted. I don't need to do much, but what do you want me to help with? If it's dirty or wrong, I'll refuse." Van Heap said, "I'm looking for someone. Doing it alone would take forever. I can't search this huge lake area by myself." Then he drew his sword. He replied, "All right, if you lose, don't talk nonsense." Van Heap said, "Sounds good, all right, let's do this." Han Bi was ready too. He said, "All right, if we're talking about masters at that age, there are only 2 people I'm looking for. Their internal power is insane, and their blood butterfly sword technique is on another level. The first move you used was the blood butterfly whirlwind." Van Heap grabbed his sword and swung it up. Han Bi suddenly felt tense. What kind of sword technique is this? His moves were so fast, Hanbi could only watch and try to react. But then came the shock. No way, can he really dodge my strike? As he fell, Van Heap unexpectedly reached out his hand. I won. You have to come with me like you promised. He grabbed Van Heap's hand. All right, we both use sword techniques, but what's your internal power like? How can someone this young have such strong cultivation? At least tell me who your master and sect are. If you're some martial arts villain, we should stop here. You lost, so accept it and stop asking nonsense. I don't want any unnecessary misunderstandings either. Looks like surviving out here means knowing a few secret techniques, like the tie-in earth absorption classic. My internal power comes from medical texts, no sect or master. I cultivate by creating martial arts that fit the internal power I've built from reading those books. Hanbi was stunned. Tie-in earth absorption classic? Never heard of that in this lifetime. Van Heap thought to himself. Asterisk, of course, I made it up. Asterisk, what's the next step in your plan? Hanbi grumbled. Isn't that your call? Unexpectedly, Van Heap asked. Isn't the main character supposed to roam illegal gambling dens? Someone who believes something strange is happening in the martial world and is searching for answers? Then come along. Traveling with you might lead me to my answers. Hanbi was stunned for a moment, then said, All right, let's head to Henan. Back to the present, Hanbi finished recounting how he met Van Heap. That's the story. Le Chao and Le Huan were shocked. The ghost blade broke? Who is this guy, really? Hanbi added. We're not close enough to know each other's real names, but the blood butterfly technique he created is seriously impressive. That's why I call him the blood butterfly young master. I've fought many, but never seen this technique before. Suddenly, the main character appeared from behind. Why are you talking about this? He laughed. Speak of Cao Cao, and Cao Cao arrives. It's been a while since we had a drink, gotta talk a lot. Van Heap disagreed. Then you talk about your stuff. Le Chao silently assessed him. This guy's cold, but his martial arts are strong for his age. If he were in our escort agency, we'd have to think carefully. Then she spoke up. Earlier, I couldn't properly thank you all. Thanks for stepping in to help. Hanbi replied. He's just doing his job. Escort masters work to make money. She said bluntly. Escort master, I know it's hard to invite you to join us. Le Huan was surprised. Sis. She continued. I don't know why you're here, but our goal is to travel across Henan, to revive the Camthon Escort Agency. We'll do whatever it takes to restore Camthon Escort Agency. She earnestly said, Please, I'll give you this house if you can protect my family on the escort routes. Even if I get ambushed, just survive the main boss's attack. Listening carefully, Van Heap realized, I get why Camthon Escort Agency still exists, but do you really have to beg this much? Le Huan worriedly looked at her. So sis? Van Heap bluntly said, I refuse. As for the mortgage debts, selling this house would only leave a few thousand gold. Why go through all this? I don't get it. Having to risk your life for a losing business? That's not for me. Before I leave, I'll help your agency get the money it deserves. She looked at him expectantly. He said, What I mean is, if your business does well, I benefit too. Then he pulled something out. He placed a banknote on the table. Take this. Le Chao was surprised. Is this a banknote? An infinite money banknote? This trip will end in a few months, but rebuilding Camthon Escort Agency will take years, and restoring its reputation needs capital. With this banknote, you can pay off the house mortgage even by tomorrow. Pay by tomorrow morning and get the land deed back. Since I don't need it, the agency chief can keep it or give it to your father. Le Chao was shocked. Why help us? He said. What I'm planning will take a long time. If Camthon Escort Agency gains fame and helps me, isn't this a profitable investment? Staying or leaving is my choice. No one can stop me. I'll stay here as an escort master until then. Le Chao replied, I'll sincerely support you if you help us. Hanbi looked at him and asked, You're helping the agency chief this much but can't even buy me a drink? He answered, I said this is an investment. What do I gain buying you drinks? Isn't there already a glass in front of you? Come on, cheers. The agency chief and deputy chief raised their glasses too. Hanbi complained, Why the sudden change of topic? Le Chao laughed. They reminded me of the young master and young Miss Trungwin. What's the young master up to now? Where's young Miss Trungwin? The poison found at Camthon Hunter HQ matches something from the Tiet family. All these schemes lead to one point: I won't let you get your way anymore. Somewhere else, a man angrily asked his subordinate, You're saying it's a failure? Quach Tringo, head of the Thon Long Hunter HQ, asked in shock, You mean it's already failed? Deputy head Koi Luong said, All flood victims were relocated to Camthon HQ, drawing all attention there. Unbelievable that Camthon HQ exploited flood victims and turned the place into an impregnable fortress. I went there personally to check. Tringo scolded. You idiot, I told you to assess the situation. not use force. Koi Luong hurried to explain. I didn't mean that, but the two hunters who showed up that day were seriously terrifying. He thought to himself, everyone at Camthon HQ was broken, yet two masters easily took down 10 men. They clearly had their own agenda approaching Camthon HQ. He asked if Koi Luong had investigated their identities. Koi Luong replied, no leads, so I had people check the wounds they inflicted on our men, but all the bodies were buried somewhere. He said, on the surface, it seems unrelated to us, so move slowly and carefully. Once this is over, we'll start planning the next moves. We'll take over the whole world. So this has to be executed perfectly. Koi Luong replied, understood, I've got it. As he walked out, he thought, what a shame, why would two masters like them work for a hunter HQ on the brink of collapse? I have to test myself against those two again. The next day he scouted around, looking carefully, noticing a strange pattern. The flood victims, once worried about facing the cold winter, now all had bright faces. This seemed to be the main area. Just then, he spotted Han Bi, Van Heap, and Le Xiao. Le Xiao said to Han Bi, I'm counting on you, bro. He happily agreed. Koi Luong immediately recognized them, those two who killed 10 of his men. His fighting spirit surged. All right, time to test them. I'll see firsthand how strong these two masters really are. Van Heap's group suddenly stopped. Han Bi asked, why stop all of a sudden? Van Heap signaled, quiet, we're being watched. He asked, since when did you notice? He said, I never forget a face, not even one I've seen once. Today, a strange guy was staring at us. He ran ahead saying, thanks boss, I'll lure him away. Le Xiao was amazed. How did the butterfly playboy suddenly move so swiftly? Han Bi smiled, don't just stand there, follow me. Someone's tailing us, boss. Let's go this way. Before leaving, he asked Van Heap, but you're alone, and you didn't bring your sword? He replied, looks like the stalker's super curious, probably wants a one-on-one fight. If I stand alone, he'll definitely show himself. I want to see who he really is, makes things easier. If anyone disobeys and follows me, they'll get scolded. Han Bi laughed. A guy 5 or 6 years younger always bossing me around when he opens his mouth. Whatever, let's go, boss. Koi Luong had been watching and wondered, what's going on? Why split up? Isn't he following the boss to protect her? Opportunities here. Let's see how strong this master really is. Suddenly he chased after but lost sight of Van Heap. He vanished. Where could he have gone so fast? Then a voice spoke behind him. You're from Thon Long Hunter HQ, right? Koi Luong turned around, impressed by the sharpness. He bluntly asked, you sure like complicated stuff, huh? The world's gotten messier thanks to people like you. You want to fight me? Van Heap was ready to strike. Fine, maybe he's someone high-ranking, disguising himself as a commoner. If I ambush him and knock him down, that'd be hilarious. He sneered. You're gonna fight me barehanded? You look skilled with a sword, should at least have a wooden sword in your right hand. Van Heap laughed. Don't worry, I got what I need. Just watch what I can do. Koi Luong got triggered. Don't blame me later for what you bring on yourself today, then charged. Van Heap sized him up instantly. Sloppy stance. Clearly no martial arts beyond swordsmanship. Van Heap casually threw a punch that shook the heavens and earth. He was tense. What? Just one punch creating such a strong gust? Who is this guy? Then he struck again, tearing Van Heap's sleeve. He smirked. You dodged well. Impressive. He thought to himself, clumsy now, but one day he'll succeed and become a beast. Van Heap looked at him and said, claw technique? He revealed his claws. First, I must eliminate the root cause. I'll deal with you using my supreme ghost claw technique. Then he confidently declared, first, I'll paralyze your arm. Van Heap stretched out his arm and punched him, but Titsuduk blocked it. The punch sent him flying back. This time, instead of showing off power, he'd strike lightning fast. Titsuduk rushed in to attack again, but Van Heap landed a blow to his stomach. Can he really block all my attacks with just that punch? His moves were more varied than before, but he still seemed unfamiliar with the technique. Definitely a worthy opponent. Van Heap was deep in thought. How long can he hold out? He stood in a defensive stance. No way, I've attacked this much and still can't land a killing blow. Tong Lichao stood beside him and asked, is Hoon not helping him out? Nothing will happen, just wait. He's not the type to throw punches without thinking. If it really gets dangerous, I'll step in. But if I jump in now, it just proves I'm blocking his way. She said, he's already used to his attacks and dodged every strike. He's truly talented, but the more I see, the more curious I get about his real identity. I know he's not bad, but I've seen rare talents like this cause chaos in the martial world. That's just how the martial world is. I just wanted this fight to end quickly. She asked, have you thought of anything? I want to finish fast and hit the market. Tong Lichao sighed. What? We're having a serious talk and I can't figure out what this ghost claw guy is thinking. Meanwhile, he was furious. How is this possible? The more I fight, the better he gets at dodging and breaking all my damn attacks. He was shocked by Van Heap's strikes. That's why Tu Bung Boom's attack mimics the opponent's footwork. That's why he wants to drag out the fight with that guy. Looks like he's mastered the opponent's footwork. Alright. Now I get the claw technique a bit, he said. How can this be my ghost claw technique? Speechless now. You've shown me your ghost shadow claw all this time. Now I'm finally fighting you for real. It's time to use this. After a few rounds, I realized I'm not great with punches. Alright, don't regret this. Van Heap charged at him like a tiger. He punched hard enough to see butterflies fluttering. Van Heap used the blood butterfly sword technique and blood butterfly frenzy. Tong Lishao gasped. Those are red butterflies. He stammered, who are you really? Seems like your organization is split into many factions, Van Heap asked. But let me make this clear, unlike others who don't belong to any faction. I don't know your faction, but because of people like you, the woman I'm searching for can't step into the world. She can only live a life of hiding, nursing, shame. In other words, if I want to find her, I must destroy your organization and fight all other groups I think are connected to those people. From now on, if you want to meet me, send someone stronger. I don't have time to play chase with a kid like you. Furious, he tried to sneak a hit from behind to knock Van Heap to the ground. People like you who don't know the world, who think they're the best, find it hard to accept someone better. I only settle scores with those who accept the truth. Kill him? Van Heap said no. If we kill him, the others will run scared. This guy plans to roam the world looking for the woman he wants? His allies must be top-tier fighters. The palm technique of the top 100 masters from Kam-tuk-Thoi family. If we compare moves, you're no match for him. Van Heap stiffened hearing that. Kam-tuk-Thoi family really is legendary. So you know that place? If you ask if I know, my Thoi family has used that palm technique, right? Exactly, I know it well. Elsewhere, the saintess came to visit. These are the herbs she asked us to find last time. Thanks to you, my parents are feeling much better, Tong Lishao replied. That's nothing compared to the care Confronting Bureau shows to our villagers. Your approach is really effective. Everyone's praising Confronting Bureau. I thought you'd definitely win, but were you surprised that the opponent's palm technique was also so strong? Victory isn't everything, right? But next time, use the blood butterfly sword technique first. It's not butterfly, it's blood butterfly. Anyway, next time fight properly with your own sword. A suitable sword is essential. To unleash the true power of the blood butterfly sword technique, you can't use your current sword, Zai Van Heap thought. Even unarmed, he could easily take on multiple foes. I don't know how many stronger enemies I'll face in the future. That's when Trat saw Zai Van Heap stand up and asked, where are you headed? The weapon shop? I want to buy a sword. At the shop, Zai Van Heap picked out an incredibly sharp sword. Looking over, he saw it was a weapons store. Opening it up, Zai Van Heap found rows of swords displayed on the table. Which weapon would be better? This one's not bad, but something feels off. An old man spoke up. Young man, have you ever tried crafting weapons? Zai Van Heap politely replied. No, I've only trained with wooden swords. Seems like you've poured all your passion into cultivation. Zai Van Heap wondered what he meant. The old man said, most weapons here are made by me, but you only focus on weapons not crafted by me. Is that so? Sorry about that. Compared to other weapons, these swords are exceptionally superior. I don't know why you feel that way. They were made by my son. Only those who can hear a weapon's breath can notice the difference. Really? Where's your son then? The kid went crazy over his lover and ran off into the night, chasing the call of love. It'd be great if he's still alive, but considering his personality, your son's skills are top-notch, so I'm sure he'll survive anywhere. Not necessarily. Right now, he might be locked in some tomb, chained up and forced to craft weapons if he's still alive. So, what brings you here? My sword technique requires a sword that can handle agile, fluid movements. Do you have such a sword? The old man pulled one out and said, take it. Zai Van Heap asked curiously, is this a flexible sword? Many have been stabbed by its tip because they don't fear the blade's shape swinging through the air. How much does this sword cost? Zai Van Heap asked. Take it with you. It's been a while since someone helped me ease my mind, and that's enough comfort for me. Thank you. I feel like one day I'll meet the person who made this sword. When that time comes, I'll definitely repay them. Zai Van Heap practiced swordplay, feeling extremely excited. That young guy looked sharp, swinging the sword freely and effortlessly, truly outstanding. Beautiful swordsmanship. I don't know which sect he's from, but his internal power is strong enough to block my full-force attacks. He's a tough guy to read, Trat said. Brother's back. Where did Le Huan just come from? Tong Lishao asked. Just took a stroll around the bureau. Maybe because lots of people have been coming lately. I feel like the bureau has regained its old vitality. If this peace lasts, I won't have any more wishes. As long as these two are here, this place will be safe. But the danger targeting the bureau still lingers, Le Xiao recalled that. Le Huan, get ready for a journey. At the melon shop today, the melons are fire, and for Hunter Yen, any melon is busan, Tong Le Xiao joked. As expected from the bureau chief, his observation skills are sharp. Hunter Yen turned to Z Van Heap. Hey, didn't the guy practicing sword kneeling just show up? First time I've seen someone both hyped and buying swords. Before, he ignored me and fought barehanded with fake kung fu, but now he seems to realize the practicality of a sword. Finally, listening to this big bro's advice? Never thought I'd hear martial arts tips from a bear. Maybe it's time to escort the anti-raid vehicle, Tong Le Chao said. Before, I was just an ordinary guy who got huge help from you two, also the bureau's owners. So I want to learn more about you two young masters. I'd appreciate it if you don't feel pressured and just tell me. Starting with young Master Butterfly. Can I know why you're looking for someone? I was picked up by a family's wet nurse and grew up as a servant there. Life as a servant wasn't special, but not too bad either. However, for some reason, I had to leave without repaying the kindness of the one who helped me. So even if it's late, I'll still find that person. Looks like she's the second young miss, Yen Van Heap wondered. Then Tu Van Heap stammered. Even without my help, she can handle things herself, because she's smart. Handle things and live well? Then what's the reason you absolutely have to find her to repay her? Because the first time I saw her eyes, no matter the hardship, she would empathize with the world and carry a kind heart. That's quite a story. Let me ask you this, what's your reason for learning swordsmanship? Because there's a man I want to settle the score with when we meet again someday. That man keeps staring at me, and because of that, I probably can't follow the path I want. Better to just settle it already, Tu Van Heap sighed. Yen Van Heap laughed with delight. So that's why you're crazy enough to go all in with the sword like this? Exactly. I'm walking my own path, but understanding the situation of the Camthon Tu Kook gave me the chance to share a drink like this. Enough talk, don't call me that dumb nickname Butterfly Young Master anymore. Just call me Tu Van Heap. Finally admitting your name. By the way, aren't you gonna fix my nickname? Then what should I call you? Boss Yen or Ghost Blade, sir? Calling you Big Bro makes your breath stink or what, kid? If you want to hear Big Bro from an orphan, you gotta find your parents first. Now it's your turn, Mr. Bear. Can't win against that mouth of yours, Yen Dai Heap fumed. About me? Haven't I already told young Master 2 everything about my whereabouts? I'm gonna hit the bathroom, been drinking too much. Tu Van Heap pondered, watching his figure leave. Tong Le Xiao spoke up. I think that person really likes young Master 2. From what I heard, she's also looking for someone. When did you talk to Boss Yen? Le Huan asked. It was already dark. Yen Dai Heap complained. You guys disappear when I'm waiting, then hit me up when I'm drinking, what's up with that? Senior brother, your face looks bright. So noisy, have you found anything yet? Not everything. But one thing's confirmed. One person is heading toward Mount Wudang. Another is still unknown, I think they haven't left the mountain yet. I've been searching for 3 years. Ho, send this to Mount Wudang. If my guess is right, once that person sees this, they'll follow immediately. The other definitely went to Anhui province, so keep a close watch there. Isn't the young guy who's been hanging around lately the one you're looking for? That brother seems like a high-level fighter. That guy's not who I'm after. He's a Shaolin Kung Fu master, and while his bare hand strength is no joke, his specialty is the sword. Sadly, he's not bound like me or you guys. Maybe one day he'll become an enemy in this chaotic martial world. Anyway, never forget, my enemies are only me and those 2 or 3 others. Only together can we stand a chance. Unbelievable. Guoqi Liang only admits a situation when face to face, yet he abandoned his mission? That's right. Yesterday, Y returned late to Min. After the duel, subordinates reported he was severely injured physically and mentally, so he started secluded cultivation. This person is Ham Vu Quan from Taithian Min Huyen Vo Duong, all fingernails destroyed and 4 fingers shattered. So you met a top fighter like that in Ha Nam? Should we believe this? Is there anywhere in the martial world that uses a chief to push back the ghost shadow wave? No, Guo Qiliang is keeping quiet about the opponent, right? No one interferes until he falls. Ignoring Min's threats was a huge mistake. If we want to hunt that guy, fine, send Lam Tam Kwai. You mean all 3? One reckless move is enough. The price for a second failure will be way worse. Reckless? You mean the wedding with Tiet Da? That's unbearable. Isn't that why I became a joke for all of Min? Are you seriously marrying that lowlife? Yeah, but she was the first woman to teach me what reckless means. Her name is Tu Nguyen, yes, Tat Tu Nguyen. I'll find her and make her pay dearly. So, If you really think that, maybe reconsider sending all 3 bot lam tam kui. Recklessness turned Guo Qiliang into this. Ham Tron Quan, I trust you won't ruin my plan. Understood, Lord Duong. Alright, it has to be this way, both Guo Qiliang and that unknown top fighter. Hanbi took a swig of that strong brew, acting like he was drowning in a rare vintage. Van Heap could only turn a blind eye to his mental breakdown. Get a grip, bro. Who told you to chug every drop the boss poured? You never know when some clawed monster might jump out like last time. From afar, a young man was spotted hiding behind a crumbling wall. Looking closer, you could see the sweat dripping down his face. Turns out, he was Vokai. Hanbi immediately felt uneasy with him around. Vokai? Why's this punk showing up again? No choice, Hanbi had to improvise. He left with a few complaints, muttering about wiping out the Qinglong patrol first, can't even drink a single cup without worrying about eyes watching. I went in first, my stomach's killing me. After dodging Van Heap's gaze, Hanbi and Vokai met up in a deserted alley. As soon as they met, Hanbi said, "Where are the others, kid? What's the deal with you coming here all calm like? Meeting in broad daylight like this?" Van Heap's kid would definitely catch on. Vokai hurriedly explained it was an emergency. One of the guys their senior was looking for was heading this way, apparently being chased by the Black Assassins' hit squad. Hanbi was shocked. Out of all the assassin groups, why them? Seriously, someone's been waiting forever, now dragging a ticking time bomb, definitely being hunted hard. I gotta go save them as soon as possible. Deep in the forest, a brutal scouting mission was underway. Seeing the girl Xiaoan desperately fleeing the assassin's blades, she thought, I just left the mountain, and this is what I get? About 10 days before, Xiaoan had a feast with all kinds of delicacies. So wild even the restaurant folks were stunned. Xiaoan didn't care what others thought, she just knew the food was insanely good. Besides wild boar, there were so many other amazing dishes, she was chatting non-stop. Meanwhile, a half-drunk loser stumbled over, grabbed the sword Xiaoan left nearby, and kept praising it. What a damn fine sword. Clearly drunk, the jerk leaned in close and whispered, "Rare find, huh? You scarf down food like a beggar, yet you've got a treasure like this." Xiaoan, a strong woman, wasn't about to show weakness. She scowled. "What's this, you filthy fly, ruining the flavor?" Then she snatched the sword from his hands. "Give it back. This isn't something someone like you should touch. If you want to fake knowing martial arts, take off those gold rings first." After some back and forth, he pulled a dagger from his belt. "This bitch wants to die." Before he could make a move, Xiaoan slashed him across the body. The damage was minor, but his spirit was crushed, especially since his clothes were shredded. Xiaoan teased, "I wonder why you pretend like that it's because you were born ugly as hell." That's why she was stuck in this cat-and-mouse game. Trekking through the forest and streams, Xiaoan thought, "Why do rich folks always hire assassins like this? I grew up in the underworld, just want to enjoy life a bit. If this keeps up, might as well kill me off already." Saying that, Xiaoan drew her sword and faced forward. Sensing danger nearby, she swung toward the hostile aura, but it was just a random woodcutter passing by. Not far off, the assassins had already caught up without her noticing. Xiaoan suddenly realized they were using innocent bystanders to ambush her. No time to waste, she rushed toward the old man. "Old man, get away from me, there are assassins over there." But surprise struck, the gentle old man was actually a spy for the assassins. From the pile of firewood behind him, he pulled out a rope with a spearhead and hurled it straight at Xiaoan. She barely had time to react. He shared their goal, but she couldn't dodge in time. Almost dying in this mountain hell. Then Van Heap appeared like a savior. He skillfully used his sword to deflect the assassin's spear. "Nice quick draw, are you a swordsman? That's something I'm interested in." Meeting Van Heap for the first time, Xiaoan was curious and kept asking who he was. But the situation didn't allow Van Heap to explain. One assassin attacked but got wrecked by Van Heap and knocked out. The rest, seeing the power gap, retreated on their own. A top-tier martial artist, he killed the captain with one move. "If this keeps up, it'll be bad for us, we need to retreat fast." Lost in thought, he accidentally bumped into another formidable figure. Hanbi had finally arrived, a bit late, and the two locked eyes without a word. At Van Heap's spot, you could see the guy from earlier got blasted dozens of meters away. When Hanbi approached, he realized Van Heap was here too. Someone noticed suspicious behavior and followed. He replied, "Don't be ridiculous. I'm not dumb enough to get followed. I just said I arrived early to wait for you, okay?" Suddenly, two guys jumped in to help, then started arguing loudly. Van Heap got cautious and stepped back. "Who the hell are you guys?" Van Heap walked off, telling him, "Talk it out, I'll step aside and check around." This weird move caught Van Heap's attention fast. Hanbi casually explained that kids just like that, don't mind him, I'll ask directly. Hanbi pulled out a pendant and asked Van Heap, "Do you carry this?" At a glance, she recognized it and quickly took out the matching pendant. "So you have one too, looks like it's legit. That guy with the soft sword is the same." "No, that friend isn't." Where do I even start explaining this?" At Van Heap's place, he was chasing one of the surviving assassins. She pulled out a hairpin from her head, which turned into 2 throwing daggers aimed straight at Van Heap. The speed wasn't a challenge for him. He caught them easily and threw them back. In seconds, she got hit in the shoulder by a dagger, unable to escape, collapsing near a tree. Van Heap slowly approached with the other dagger. He was familiar with the throwing knives the old man used earlier, this style of hidden weapon. "Where did you get these weapons? Tell me, who makes these hidden weapons?" Van Heap demanded loudly. The girl seemed uncooperative, playing innocent with a trembling voice. "What are you saying? I don't understand." Then the name Lieutenant Tai Din slipped out. "She saw my swords weren't made by that guy. I promised that man's father I'd help find his missing son. I sensed that person's hands in these hidden weapons." Then Van Heap slammed a throwing knife into the assassin's neck. "Spill where Lieutenant Tai Din is, and I might spare you. I actually laughed that fool will spend his whole life smashing his dad in a cave until he dies. Turns out, the woman who caught him. Big bro and my sis both died by your hands today. The assassin will hunt you down to Hell's End." After the threat, I chose to self-destruct to cut off the trail. Van Heap got scared, not expecting me to be trained this well. "So all assassins are family? Kidnapping other people's sons then whining about family before dying?" Then Van Heap returned to Han Bai, teasing, "You said you just went to handle the runaway assassin? What's the deal? Why go that far? This has nothing to do with you." Van Heap said it was his personal business, then asked about the girl beside him. Han Bai said, "She's my sis. I came because I heard she was in danger while looking for me." Van Heap introduced himself. "I'm Tae Xiaoan, thanks for the help." "Sis? You from the beggar sect too?" "Auntie, do I look like a beggar?" "Her bro's from the beggar sect, so I asked." Han Bai sighed. No way to hide anything from that kid. After a quick chat, the group headed back to the guild leader's mansion. "Meeting Le Xiao," Han Bai said. "Let me introduce. This is my sis, Tae Xiaoan. She trained martial arts in the mountains, so she's clueless about the world. Please take care of her. Pleasure to meet you. She's been through a lot." Le Xiao told Lahun to escort her inside to rest. Han Bai added, "For some reason, sis might have to travel with me later, so though it's a bit rude, please allow her to stay here temporarily." Following Lahun's lead, Zhao An admired the beautiful architecture. No doubt, this famous guild's place was on another level. Lahun said, "I'm Song Lahun. If you're sis to young Master Yen, you're a valued guest here. If anything's uncomfortable, just tell us any time." Zhao An quickly replied, "Thanks, sir. I'm more like a big sis, so I'll call you Lahun from now on to keep it casual." Back to Han Bai, he said if it's okay, Tae sis could escort the goods too. She's a top-tier martial artist, so having her as a guard would be clutch. Le Xiao agreed fast. Young Master Yen vouched for her background. No issues there. "Thanks. Also, I talked with that kid this morning. The escort mission's about to start, but there's a problem. According to reports, Zhao An's being chased by an assassin group, and recently, that kid even defeated a Thon Long guild master. The risk of revenge is higher than expected, so I'm worried about the guild leader's safety." Van Heap stepped in, saying the escort has a purpose. The guild leader doesn't need to risk himself by joining and getting dragged into danger. As for the boss, Le Xiao immediately cut in. She dismissed Van Heap's opinion for several reasons, plus Senior Yen and Young Master Tu had helped us before. "What concerns you two also concerns us, and if I'm not the boss, the whole point of escorting the caravan loses its meaning. What's the point of the name Cam Thon Escort Bureau that the previous boss stepped back to protect? Through this escort mission, I'll engrave in my heart the true value of the name I want to protect. My father, the former boss, probably shared this sentiment when carrying out the escort, and I am the current boss of Cam Than Escort Bureau. So more than anyone, I must lead by example. The work of the Cam Than escorts is my responsibility. If it's that dangerous, then even if I die, it won't be a regret. But I trust you won't let that happen." Han Bai had fully embraced Le Chao's mindset, chuckling as he turned to Van Heap. "Oh man, what do you think? The boss is dead set on this, huh?" He replied, "An escort must obey the boss." Going deeper, the caravan is affectionately called the Escort Caravan. True to its name, it's a sturdy horse carriage flying the Cam Than Escort Bureau flag, with the boss and 3 escorts determined to head straight to Trungwin. Van Heap predicted that the closer they got to Trungwin, the more those wanting to harm Cam Than Escort Bureau would rush to act and reveal themselves. Deputy boss Song Lehuan also wanted to join this mission but had to stay at the manor to care for his father and protect flood victims. That afternoon, Lehuan had to fight hand-to-hand with some heroes. A few tears fell from Tuan after Zhao An's hearty laugh. Little bro Le Tuan, don't worry. I'll keep Sister Le Chao safe. Because of this, that night Hanbi tightened the reins to keep his focus. They'd been traveling for 5 days and were now deep in the ancient forest. Van Heap felt something was off since it was already day 5 and everything was still too calm. His focus made Xiaoan curious. You're Van Heap, right? Senior said this. Besides eating and sleeping, you only practice swordsmanship. Suddenly she said that? Young miss? What young miss? Little sis here, you talk to me like that? Sis? Yeah, you look a year or 2 younger, so shouldn't you call me sis? Van Heap pouted. I've never had a sis like you, so don't claim me. That brat, Xiaoan jumped up. What? You won't call me sis? The only calm one was Le Chao. She had to quickly stop the conflict before it got worse, but ended up becoming Xiaoan's victim herself. Sis, say something. Doesn't a person with status have to set the hierarchy? If this keeps up, after Sister Le Chao marries Senior, there'll be trouble. This time Le Chao blushed bright red, hurriedly asking, Wait, you said marry Senior Yen? Aren't they dating? This morning on the way home, every time a girl passed by, he was acting weird. That jewelry looked just like Miss Song's, shouldn't he buy her a gift? Le Chao suddenly understood. So that's it. Senior wants me to help convey his feelings to Sister, so he's being so obvious. Outside, Hanbi couldn't cover the girl's mouth, just sighed deeply. He definitely saw something that made him hold the reins tighter. Those inside sensed something was wrong, Hanbi muttered. Looks like something's showing up, just as the escort mission began. In front of him was a group of middle-aged tough guys, some looking like enlightened masters. Xiaoan called out from the storage compartment. Senior, what's going on? Then she dashed down with Van Heap. Hanbi faced 3 old men who clearly weren't the usual assassins they expected. The old man holding a spear laughed weirdly. You're comparing us to that assassin? Sad, kids. Seems like it's been a while since we hit the streets. Another old man with wrinkled skin chimed in. No need for many words with these brats. Just hand over the boss, and we'll spare you. Hanbi was about to respond when the wrinkled old man attacked. He lunged with lightning speed to take Hanbi's life, but Hanbi blocked in time. Since he and Van Heap knew this opponent wasn't ordinary, their alertness was heightened. Based on the aura of the Drywood Demon Lord, Hanbi knew this wasn't just any old man. Then he used force to toss the old man aside and counterattacked with a horizontal slash to the head. However, the old man dodged, forcing Hanbi to switch to another attack. He chose to transform into a humble servant and swung his sword down like a crippled kid. Unfortunately, the speed was a bit slow, so the Drywood Demon Lord had time to retreat. Better than I thought. Drywood Demon Lord though, that was decades ago. It's a legendary nickname. Didn't expect to meet this elder at this crossroads. Upon being recognized, the old man roared, You brat know my name? Not stopping there, the old man started transforming into a beast and lunged at Hanbi with his long arms. After a few clashes with no clear winner, Xiaoan decided to join the fight, but Van Heap stopped her. He noticed the other 2 guys were still watching the battle, so he told Xiaoan, Once those 2 elders make a move, we move too. For now, let Yin Hanbi handle it, and we protect the carriage with the boss inside. They're targeting Song Le Chao, so they must be on the same side as that guy who used the technique before. So Thon Long Bureau. A place that commands these demons to act, no doubt. The person we're after is the mastermind behind this. Back to the fight, the Drywood Demon Lord was thrilled to face a strong opponent like Hanbi, clearly enjoying himself. How interesting that someone this powerful follows the kid from a fallen bureau, pathetic. That brat, I'll make sure she dies a miserable death. Those words directly pissed off Hanbi, who glared at the annoying demon like, Old man, you're asking for it. Calling me senior? You don't know your limits, huh? Now I'll turn you into a pile of firewood. Hanbi unleashed a series of devastating blows, but the Drywood Demon Lord dodged them all. On the final strike, the demon flipped behind Hanbi, aiming for a sneak attack. Just when it seemed the plan would work, Van Heap and his Nguyen sword sliced the demon in half. He shouted angrily, You mad because he insulted the boss? Get a grip. One ally was already down, and the red-haired demon grew gloomy. That foolish old man got hyped solo, he was doomed from the start. Now it's 2 against 3, but the 2 remaining elders' casual attitude can't be underestimated. Nguyen Ka Hao gripped his staff tightly, muttering that the kid seemed to be the one who broke that little guy's finger from the Hoi Lung sweepers. Both elders simultaneously targeted Van Heap. He quickly ordered the Hanbi brothers to guard the carriage. Those old demons would kill the boss if given a chance. So if anyone heads for the carriage, the 2 must take them down immediately. The red-haired demon successfully closed in on Van Heap, and they exchanged power to test each other. Next was Nguyen Ka Hao with his spiked flail. Kid, watch out. Despite Van Heap's unmatched strength, facing 2 powerful foes alone showed some struggle. Xiaoan worried for him and tried to help but was stopped by Hanbi. That kid Van Heap can handle 2 demons solo. If we join in, they'll just split their focus. Among us, Senior will protect Lashao the best. You planning to team up? Xiaoan said since Van Heap saved her before, she had to return the favor. Then she charged in with her Van Tung stance. Brother, protect Lashao well. So that's the Van Tung stance of that brat? The fight got even more intense when one elder lunged at Van Heap during a moment of carelessness. Luckily, Xiaoan arrived just in time to block the hit. Fighting together, they aimed to finish quickly and move on. The demon shouted angrily, "Hey woman, don't block my way, move!" But Xiaoan stood firm. "You're the one who should move." The fight paused as Xiaoan retreated. Van Heap advised her to fall back and protect the carriage. But she got annoyed. How dare he call her woman instead of sis? "I've got a debt to repay." Xiaoan's passion impressed both old demons. "Ah, young people these days, it's been decades since I roamed the underworld, and you treat me like this? These arrogant brats, I'll wipe you all out." "That's the hot-tempered old man for you. These kids are a feast for us, huh?" Ka Hao smugly pointed his sword at the two arrogant ones. "At times like this, let's savor it slowly." Van Heap just laughed and said bluntly, "Who's paying you? Seems like you're throwing us a warm welcome." Challenged by that, Van Heap unleashed his sword technique confidently. "Then we should show some sincerity too." Finally, Van Heap and Xiaoan teamed up to duel the two Laki. Ka Hao's attacks were lightning fast, but Van Heap dodged them effortlessly. Impressed by his skill, the elder admitted, "Not bad." Van Heap moved with masterful agility while dodging. In a flash, Ka Hao realized the kid was using the Shadow Claw technique. At that moment, Van Heap smirked. "You see that? She just gave your teammate a lesson he won't forget." Meanwhile, Xiaoan was fighting seriously. She kept landing deadly slashes on Fat Kuai, but he dodged and seized the chance to counterattack. "I'll turn you to dust." Thanks to the power of Flame Fist, Xiaoan luckily dodged just in time. Her speed got Fat Kuai hyped. "Not bad, dodging my strike. You're a real pro, props to you." But during the fight, Fat Kuai sensed something off. Suddenly, a sword flew in, cutting through their battle. It was none other than Hanbi's blade. He dashed forward to grab it, confirming these guys were still crawling toward the carriage. "I gotta pin you down so you can't move." Hanbi's sword swings had now reached master level. Hanbi's strikes matched Fat Kui's strength, but his power slightly overwhelmed the old man. For a moment, Hanbi felt uneasy. He thought, "I'm Shich Yem, yet some brat like this took down Wu." Then his final strike sent the old man flying. But Fat Kuai wasn't giving up. He seriously unleashed his chi, radiating a massive dark aura. Waves of energy pulsed from Fat Kuai's body. "I'll fight you with all my strength." At that moment, Fat Kuai unleashed the flame demon field. Hanbi didn't dodge despite its destructive force. He used all his might to withstand the devastating attack. Seeing Hanbi struggle, Xiaoan got worried. The heat from the flames was burning the skin on his hand. Watching this, Xiaoan gritted her teeth and sneaked forward, focusing all her inner power to unleash her ultimate strike in one go. Finally, Xiaoan's hope came true. Fat Kuai, interrupted, got furious as the fighters. "You really raised some strange folks." Hearing this, Xiaoan was annoyed. "What? Who's strange?" The blind master got injured, so Hanbi rushed over to check. "You all right?" Tong Le Chao, witnessing everything, was shocked. Everyone should be fine. Xiaoan, the young miss, and Hero Yen. Le Chao observed the two closely. Then she noticed Hanbi's injured arm, which made her uneasy. Hero Yen. Le Chao's arrival partly put her in danger. Ka Hao smiled wickedly upon seeing her. "So you're here?" Seizing the moment, he bypassed Van Heap and charged the spiked staff toward Le Chao. Luckily, a cloth flew out of nowhere. It wrapped tightly around his arm, stopping him from attacking. The one who did this was none other than Van Heap. He immediately unleashed the first move of Blood Butterfly Chaos Dance, striking Ka Hao head-on. The old man was instantly slashed multiple times. The force made him collapse. "So I'm getting wrecked by these punks? Life's funny." But this isn't over yet. Suddenly, Van Heap called out to Ka Hao. "Hey, your opponent is me." Despite his severe wounds, Ka Hao still had the strength to fight. He instantly unleashed a powerful staff strike. Seeing Van Heap block his attack, Ka Hao got worried. "Even with Blood Butterfly Chaos Dance, he can still move?" Arrogantly, he said, "Try tasting my Bloodfang Flip Needle." His speed increased, making things harder for Van Heap. "At this rate, I can't finish him. I gotta hit his weak spot. Time to use the heavenly recovery of the Origin Sword." Van Heap smoothly swung his sword at Ka Hao, but the old man still blocked it. Suddenly, countless phantom butterflies appeared after the strike. It was Van Heap's second move, Blood Butterfly Tornado. Caught off guard, Ka Hao got hit and lost an arm. Seizing the moment, Van Heap kept attacking to maintain pressure. The butterflies swarming around made the old man extremely uncomfortable. What the hell are these blazing red butterflies? As Ka Hao planned to counterattack, Van Heap was one step ahead. He teleported behind the old man and unleashed Blood Butterfly Lost Harmony. The brutal spiked mace shattered instantly. His power left Ka Hao in awe, truly legendary. Didn't expect I'd catch up to old Komak and Shichfat this fast. Suddenly, Ka Hao raised his spiked mace high. However, this old man needs a companion on the way down to Kutwen. The spikes on the mace shot out in all directions. In this situation, Van Heap had a tough time defending himself. It wasn't just him. The spikes were also flying toward Han Di. He had to unleash a slash to destroy them all. Quickly, Van Heap's group stopped every spike. The old man's cunning made Han Bai furious, those damn old geezers. Worried about Xiaoan's health, Le Xiao came to check on her, but Xiaoan insisted she was fine, saying the mission was already done. At that moment, Van Heap finally breathed a sigh of relief but thought, no way, I need to get stronger. Seeing Xiaoan's serious condition, he had to heal her. Sitting still, channeling internal energy this way, this is my first time doing it. Yet Xiaoan wondered, which sect does this person belong to? After a while, Han Bi turned and said, our boss is fine, so stop blaming yourself. We all know what we're up against on this escort. Those old demons are notorious bandits called the Buk Lam Tam Kui. Sending top fighters like them isn't easy, so just rest up and keep moving. Suddenly, the sound of a horse carriage came from afar. They seemed to be passing by Van Heap's group. Zhao An was confused. Isn't that the Hoa Vun escort agency? Could it be the Than Long escort agency that senior brother mentioned before? But Han Bi dismissed it. No, it's a different escort agency. At this point, Han Bi thought it through. Judging by their demeanor, they didn't seem like enemies connected to those old demons. Maybe they're from another escort agency arriving after hearing about Kum Than's journey. Han Bi slowly approached them and called out, we're escorts from Kum Than Escort Agency. To protect the boss's safety, I need to verify your identities. Yet the man calmly replied, sure enough, Kum Than Escort Agency. We're from Lac Dung and heard about the nearby journey, so we came. If you don't mind, can I meet the boss for a moment? I am... Before he could introduce himself, Le Xiao appeared. Their presence shocked her. Master Thunquan Chenkiet, Choling. Han Bi was pretty surprised by this. Are you all from Hanam too? Le Xiao happily ran to her family. Thunquan Trenkiert joyfully said, it's been 5 years since we last met. Even Xiao Lin teared up seeing Le Xiao. Sis, I really missed you. Le Xiao with tears replied, Master, you have no idea how much I missed you. But why are you here with Xiao Lin? The Tu Hai escort agency was also searching for their carriage. It's known as one of the 3 remaining escort agencies in Hanam, alongside Kum Than and Trun Hung escort agencies. In this tough situation, upon hearing that Kum Than escort agency was traveling nearby, they sent Trun Lin Chao, who has a close relationship with Tung Lair Chao, along with some escorts to pick her up. Chao Lin explained calmly. Although I didn't know which direction Sis planned to go, Father insisted on bringing you back. Sis, are you coming back with us? Le Xiao happily said. Of course, it's been a while since I saw Tron Bafur, so I have to go. Thurnquan Tron Kirt replied. Now tell me everything that's happened lately. Seems like while I was away, something went down at Kumthan Escort Agency. Seeing them so absorbed in their stories, Han Bi didn't know what to say. Then Thurnquan Trenkiert reassured him, you've worked hard. I feel guilty about every family. If I had stayed, I could have shared the burden with Big Bro Nyut Sun and you all. Though it's late, I'll help you. First, I'll head to Kumthan Escort Agency to see Big Bro. Hearing this, Le Xiao was thrilled. Master, with you and Father here, I can rest easy and continue the journey. However, he said, I'll visit Big Bro Trenon and then return. You should stay temporarily at Tu Hai Escort Agency. I'll be by your side later. But Le Xiao calmly replied, no master, don't worry about me. Lair Huan is struggling alone at the manor and needs your help more than I do. The kid has to care for his sick father and the flood victims, so he's swamped. With the outstanding escorts from Kumthan Escort Agency, I'm fine. Now, with the escort agency's strength, Kumthan Escort Agency won't be pushed around by anyone. Master, don't worry. Please send my regards to Father in Hanam. Understanding her heart, Thurnquan Kiert said, if you've decided that, I trust your judgment. Still, while I'm not here, don't act recklessly. Even Chao Lin spoke up, saying, don't worry, I'll return safely with Sis. Father and Big Bro will be happy too. Scene shifts inside a fortress. Lu Trak senses he's being followed. Why are they tailing me? Despite this, he snaps. Finally decided to talk to me? Still, Lu Trak stands firm. Answer me. You're on the same side as those bastards who framed our Zi Hai Shao Bureau. He finally speaks. Don't rush. Tonight, I'll take you to meet my superior. Hearing that, Lu Troc goes on guard. Your superior, make it quick. Now, his sly face shows. I respect the descendants of prestigious clans, so many have gone before. Meanwhile, the boss orders a quiet handling of the matter. The stubborn old head of Zihai Xiao Bureau isn't pleased either. I want to handle these shady plots more proactively. But his subordinate, Dai Min, claims team leader Kui Da. He successfully captured the eldest son of Zihai Xiao Bureau, and already used the chance to escape early this morning. Tai Cheng was thrilled, no surprise coming from Kui Da. He, a top-tier master from Gansu Kui Ra. Too bad he was sent directly by me, so he can't stay with our Qingji team. Then Dai Min suggests, Boss, this time I'll take the hostage to negotiate with Zihai Xiao Bureau. The son's life hangs by a thread, why resist us any longer? But Tai Cheng objects, no need for threats. Since we're at this point, let's end it cleanly. I know their tricks don't rile them up, just handle it. He smirks slyly. Requesting permission. Sometime later, scene shifts to Zihai Xiao Bureau. Upon arrival, Zhou Ling cheerfully tells everyone, we're here, father is coming to greet us. Li Zhou suggests to Yun Shi, I'll go greet and introduce everyone. You all wait here a bit. Zhou Ling beams, how long has it been since we met at home like this? But inside, she overhears a conversation. A subordinate senses something, then rushes out anxiously. Zhou Ling fidgets until Xiang Kun spots her. He says, Zhou Ling, you came back with Li Zhou. Good. Feeling uneasy, she quietly asks, is father okay? His expression instantly turns serious. Big bro Luoi An is missing. The kid left early to prepare for your return. But no word since something's wrong. The bureau's in chaos, how can bad stuff keep happening like this? Then Li Zhou reveals his own story, even mentioning attackers targeting Tu Troc. Same thing happened in Luoyang. So clearly these are the same people who ambushed you. Hearing their plans, Han Bi and his brothers grow wary. Looks like things here aren't as smooth as at Jincheng Xiao Bureau. Is being in the bureau always this rough, senior? There's so much to teach these people. Yun Xie just stands frozen, silent. Tension rises until someone arrives, catching Xiang Kun's attention. He asks, what brings you here? Dai Min arrogantly replies, let me see the bureau chief. I'm here about his son. Dai Min meets with Chen Xiang Kun, apparently about his son. Dai Min's visit raises Xiang Kun's suspicion that he's involved in this mess. Dai Min says, your son attacked the heir of the man I serve and pushed him to the brink of death. So he's here to negotiate, but his tone is shady. Dai Min is a snake, slandering Xiang Kun's son with false accusations. He's trying to use this rumor to take down Xiang Kun, as if threatening to use force if Xiang Kun keeps protecting his son. But for Xiang Kun, as long as his son lives, he'll do anything except tolerate those who threaten his son's honor. He tells Dai Min, if I hand over Zihai Xiao Bureau to you, my son's life and honor will be safe. Is that your plan? Xiang Kun asks for a day to think over this crucial decision. Before leaving, Dai Min drops a threat. Make a wise choice for your son's life and don't lose sleep over it. I'll explain the situation to the leader so they make a reasonable request. That night, Xiang Kun tells his daughter about her brother's situation. Chen Zhouling is furious, no way her brother did this. She's determined to find proof to save her senior brother. Xiang Kun explains to his daughter they want us to strike first. But if that happens, senior brother's life is at risk. Zhouling has no choice but to swallow her anger and accept their terms for the sake of family happiness. A voice rang out. First, write the contract. It was Van Heap's voice. Van Heap told Tuang Khan that when he turned back, he should hand over the contract as requested and find a place to exchange it with the young master's son. They would definitely agree. Van Heap also asked that he bring the boy along when they went, but Tuang Khan seemed reluctant since this wasn't his business. Van Heap plucked a leaf from a tree and said, I don't want to meddle in others' affairs either, but they're connected to the enemies I'm hunting. I'm only going because they're tied to my personal goal. Besides, you might need to save his son later. With one slash, Van Heap shredded the leaf in his hand into 100 pieces, leaving everyone stunned. It turned out to be the Van Tung technique of Xiaoan. He must have studied it closely to perform it so flawlessly. Tong Lichao spoke to her master. I hope you trust and follow what this guy says. Thanks to this young master, the Tu Kook was saved from crisis. I believe he'll definitely help your son. Tuang Khan was silent for a while before speaking. He'll come back tomorrow. I'll listen carefully. Tell me your plan. Van Heap said the plan was to go to the designated spot and told Tuang Khan to wait until they returned. The next day, Tuang Khan, Van Heap, and Xiaoan arrived at the designated spot with the contract. Van Heap handed over the contract, and Tuang Khan told them, I'm coming with 2 Tu masters. Hand my son over to them right after we exchange the contract. The others sneered at Tuang Khan for bringing only 2 Tu masters, underestimating their confidence. Man smirked and said his men were taking good care of Tuang Khan's son, and demanded the two masters, Van Heap and Xiaoan, follow him. Trong and Xiaolin observed everything from inside. Tan Xiao wondered why Van Heap brought Xiaoan. Maybe she was carrying the hostage because she had quick feet and good navigation skills. As for Man, after taking those two along, his situation looked grim. He was desperately running from something, letting his guard down around them, and being hunted like prey by monsters. Man tried to escape and rushed to report this to the team leader. Van Heap chased Man, scaring him stiff. With one swift sword strike, Van Heap instantly killed him. Judging by Man's escape route, Van Heap guessed their base was on that rocky mountain. Searching Man's body, Van Heap found the contract. Reading it, he saw they used 1,000 silver coins as transaction money. All subordinates involved in the negotiation lost contact. These guys definitely won't get away with this. Xiaoan managed to retreat. She truly played a key role this time. She rescued Tuang Khan's son safely. Xiaolin and Tuang Khan hugged the boy joyfully, seemingly guessing Xiaoan would return alone while Van Heap disappeared somewhere. Xiaoan turned to Tuang Khan and his two sons. I know you're happy about the reunion, but we need to prepare immediately. Le Xiao didn't know what to prepare for. Xiaoan relayed Van Heap's words. There will be a raid tonight. The son, just back and barely celebrating, had to get ready to fight the raiders. The attackers might be behind the kidnapping, but it wasn't certain. Xiaoan planned to find the kidnappers' hideout since he was still around. Xiaoan told Tron Kong Tu to return and report everything he experienced to the family head. They'll definitely launch a full assault once they know their prey escaped. Yen Hanbi was worried. If they came in force, things would get bad. After Van Heap's assassination, all the contract negotiators were dead. The team leader was furious upon hearing this. Soldiers reported a massive battle at the meeting spot. They had agreed to exchange the hostage, but it was all part of a premeditated plan. The team leader ordered all members to gather for a nighttime attack on Tuhai Tu Kuk. If they're smart, they'll come to our lair. We'll strike before they act. Just then, Van Heap's voice echoed. You found their lair too? Too late, they've already been raided by me. Van Heap stood casually on the ceiling, moonlight making him look otherworldly. Chaos erupted below as they realized someone had broken in. The captain ordered his men to gather the remaining members to deal with the intruder. But Van Heap wasn't giving up easily. He jumped down from the ceiling toward the soldiers, but was blocked by the captain. The captain grabbed Van Heap's leg and told the soldiers to hurry up and assemble. It looked like a fight was about to break out. The captain asked, Ho Van Heap, who are you? If you tell me, I'll let you die easy. But Van Heap wasn't scared. Why would he reveal himself? The captain, furious at Van Heap's arrogance, prepared to attack without mercy. The captain struck first, but Van Heap dodged and moved behind him. He asked, You learned the rules from him, right? The captain was shocked that in the blink of an eye, Van Heap dodged the attack and moved elsewhere so fast. The captain's main weapon was a powerful, unawakened fan. He swung it fiercely at Van Heap, but Van Heap easily dodged every strike. Witnessing Van Heap's strange power, the captain grew even more cautious. He unleashed his unawakened technique, summoning multiple fans like throwing stars to attack Van Heap. Van Heap dodged those attacks effortlessly and calmly. The captain noticed Van Heap looked very young but had over 20 years of internal cultivation, which made him even more curious about Van Heap's identity. Still, the captain believed anyone crossing him had to die. He launched a devastating move, a single flick creating a supercharged thunderstorm. No matter how strong, Van Heap remained unfazed, standing firm without a scratch. Van Heap lost patience waiting for the captain to answer. He decided to make him speak his way. Van Heap's move, blood butterfly, wind slash, sent out assassin blood butterflies merging with his sword to strike the captain. Neither backed down, fighting to the death. This battle would have a winner and a loser. The captain was the loser. He took Van Heap's hit and was severely wounded, unable to believe he lost to a kid. Taking advantage while the captain was still breathing, Van Heap forced him to answer the earlier question. The captain regretted underestimating his opponent and agreed to answer one question as his price for defeat. Van Heap asked, Do you know who Tiet Tu Pham is? The captain replied, Never heard of that Tiet guy. Just as Van Heap suspected, Tiet Tu Pham was still hiding somewhere. Setting that aside, Van Heap urgently needed to return to the Four Seas Thieves Guild. A fierce battle was raging there. Xiaoan was fighting hard but growing exhausted and falling into a defensive position. The Four Seas Thieves Guild had no way out now. All hope rested on Van Heap. Suddenly, a figure appeared and landed right in front of Han Bi. That guy ordered everyone to fall back, saying he'd face them alone to help the fight. He arrogantly commanded his subordinates, Disperse. I'll handle this myself. Step back. Yen Dai Heap thought, Thiet Chow, this guy uses the pan technique too? but he's way more skilled. He challenged, I'll handle the minions. Let's settle this with a one-on-one duel. Yen-Dai-Heap smirked. I appreciate that. With a snap, his subordinates charged at the rest. Xiaoan cursed angrily, these bastards. Yen-Dai-Heap rushed to Xiaoan and Master Mui's side, worried. Han Song blocked his path, yelling, Where do you think you're going? We agreed to fight each other. Frustrated, he shouted, Bastard, and swung fiercely. The brutal duel resumed. Yen-Dai-Heap thought, It's not that I lack confidence, but I'm no genius. Plus, I need to watch Master Mui. Outside, Xiaoan shouted anxiously, Trungwin too, please get up quickly. Yen-Dai-Heap worried for everyone but reminded himself not to get distracted. He sneered. At least focus on me during the fight, he said. Don't worry, today the Four Seas Thieves Guild will be wiped out. Yen-Dai-Heap wondered, can't they call for backup from the gang? Tu-Van-Heap was furious. He left this mess for us and ran off alone? One subordinate mocked Xiaoan's group. You're persistent, but it's over now. Suddenly, Tu-Van-Heap appeared and snapped the guy's arm. Why are you so late? Xiaoan scolded. Yen-Dai-Heap, both relieved and annoyed, said, Damn, why didn't you come sooner? Thanks to you, I'm still alive. Meanwhile, the demon also thought silently. Tu-Kong too, this guy, and the girl he called junior sister were all outstanding experts. Was that oat guy the same? Tu-Van-Heap observed him and thought the same. The patterns on his helmet and pan showed he'd trained for a long time. I still remember the martial artist from the Thoi family I saw at the Tiat family. What made Thoi a top martial artist was a technique called Dragon Pan Fist. The weapon she uses, he pointed at him. The last person I expected to see is right in front of me, a Thoi martial artist. I don't plan to let you off easily, so give it your all. He was surprised and thought, this guy knows us. No doubt, he's their key player. I have to catch him first. They charged at each other directly. Outside, Yen-Dai-Heap grinned wickedly and charged to attack him, noticing the guy wasn't paying attention. The battle here is brutal. He quickly got exhausted under your sword. Van Heap told him, All right. The better martial artist than that guy will handle this. He'll know more than you do, so, answer me. Tell me everything you know about Thoi Tan Mi. Tathian Huyen Vucam Tuk Thoi family, Thoi Dat Hua. He stammered, How do you know that name? He pressed on. Isn't meeting like this just a coincidence? I'm definitely going to take you down and expose you all. Here's my offer. If you beat me, you walk away. But if I win, you just answer my questions and leave. Outside, Senior Hunter Yin overheard and wondered if this guy was different than usual, maybe connected to the Kam Tuk Thoi family? Weakly, he agreed. Fine. If you win, I'll answer any question, even if I don't know what you're curious about. Then he charged, bringing Non-Vur toward him. Hunter In, nursing his wounds, thought, First, I need to hand him over to Senior Tu Vun. Meanwhile, Tu Vun kept landing critical strikes. The fight was brutal. Most of the time, he attacked while the other defended. Finally, he was knocked down by a powerful blow. Asterisk, he thought. Asterisk, too strong, but he can't keep up with my moves. Strongman An Vung Marn K Don Mi Mai said, You really think you can beat me with just that? You always underestimate others. I'm not going easy on you. Blood butterfly sword technique. He clasped his hands over his chest, terrified and speechless at the name. I might be able to block this move. First skill, blood butterfly tornado. He collapsed, surrendering. My ultimate move never landed once. I'm totally beaten. Next time, I'll... Before he finished, An quietly approached, stating, Wait, you think there's a next time? Your arm's already wrecked. While you were busy mocking others, I swung my sword tens of thousands of times refining my sword path where you don't even know. Then Ang Vungdan grabbed his collar and asked, So you're going to keep your promise, right? Tell me your name and who's behind you. Tathian Ming Huyen Vudung. The head is Zaluk Tuhan. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his head. An realized it was a telepathic message and warned him, Tell Thoi Tan Mir that one day she'll get her revenge from the old servant she harmed. After the duel ended, everyone was happily chatting, some even in disbelief. We really protected this place. Peace returned. That afternoon, while Tu Van was deep in thought, his disciple came over with a flask of wine. Von Heerp asked suspiciously, What's this for? Miss Than Min, no poison, drink up. That fight was way too dangerous, so Sister Lair Chow was really worried. Plus, you look troubled. No need to call me sister. Even if I'm older, I'm here to listen. Have a drink. Thanks to your hard work day and night, peace has returned to Tu Hai Tiu Bureau. How did you find people like that? Lair Chow said calmly. They simply came to me when I was in trouble. Tung Kone smiled. I get it. But be careful with them. Such powerful masters might be hiding something. I know I have no say, but I'm really worried you'll get hurt. Lair Chow shared her thoughts. You're right. It's strange that such powerful masters would help a powerless bureau like ours that can't repay anyone. But until they abandon me first, I want to trust them fully. Even though my journey just started, they risked their lives countless times from east to west to save people. So maybe they're not bad after all. Tungko nodded. If you say so, Lair Cho, I'll trust them too. How's your journey plan coming along? Lair Cho smiled. It's just a casual plan during downtime, nothing special. So from now on, I'll stay here and want your opinion on the journey plan. Tungko chuckled. I didn't realize you've grown up so much. If my advice can help, just ask any time. Curious, he asked. Nguyen said he's looking for a young lady. Is that why you look so serious? Von Heerp smirked. Nguyen brought the wine just out of curiosity, right? Hanby told her, we need to approach Von Heerp carefully. She's a bit clueless. Approach? Senior brother. Without him, many would be dead. Continuing. After learning the Iron Pot guy is from the Kamtuk clan. Did you see how his eyes changed? Based on what I know about the Kai Bang, I tried to identify him by his martial arts and sect, but the only answer I got was that it's the first time they've heard of him or his skills. That's puzzling. Even if Kai Bang doesn't know, Von Heerp shouldn't have a problem, right? Her senior brother shook his head. I heard a new sect appeared in Kamtuk province. It's called Phi Thien Longmon, formed by Kamtuk Tit family and Kamtuk Chu family. It's no surprise that the two big bro clans teaming up would attract many top fighters. We need to figure out what kind of relationship exists between him and that guy who made him react so cautiously toward the Kamtuk family. Figuring out if they're friend or foe won't hurt. Bro still has a lot to learn, so once this journey ends, I'll act like a loyal retainer. But isn't it a bit annoying that I only know his name? Von Heerp shrugged. Does it really matter? I was raised like a servant in a noble family since I was a kid, and when I felt it was time to leave, I went up the mountain to settle things with my sword. Bro said impatiently. So you met your master on the mountain? I'm curious where and from whom you learned your martial arts. Your sword style is unique, and Von Heerp's been suspicious. Her eyes gave it away. She's trying hard to trace your origins. Of course, that guy probably told her to ask. I wonder how Trungwin would handle this. Not everyone thinks the same, so she's likely trying to understand what this means. It's natural to be suspicious, since I'm using a sword technique with unclear origins. Honestly, it's nothing special. I just want freedom and to find a path to the power I crave. Since I don't know my limits or what the future holds, I'll keep swinging my sword to get stronger. But I think trying to change like that person did isn't a bad idea. Bro didn't say much after hearing that. Senior brother, I get your point, but Von Heerp isn't the type to cause trouble. She saved people countless times. He handed Von Heerp a drink. One more glass, and from now on, no secrets between us, he teased. The problem is, the one pouring the drink isn't exactly trustworthy. Bro finally relaxed a bit. At least for now, trusting this guy should be fine, right? A group was chasing the Nep siblings. Fu Xin glared at them. Damn it, those bastards are like leeches. We were exhausted after 5 days on the run, so we only rested briefly, but I didn't expect them to catch up so fast. Fu Hung trembled behind her brother. Sis, senior brother. Fu Xin reassured her. Don't be scared, we'll protect you. One of the villains sneered. You guys are persistent. Fu Dong shouted, are you from Phi Thien Long? He smirked. If you want to blame someone, blame your own weakness. Fu Dong gritted her teeth in frustration. Are we just fighting a losing battle? Suddenly, Kirk Ma appeared. Are you really from Phi Thien Long sect? Spill the name of your sect leader. If you don't, I'll take your life. Moments later, they trembled before Kirk Ma. What's going on? Who's your sect leader? Another subordinate nervously confessed. We only follow orders from above, never met the sect leader. Only Suduk and Boot An know what the leader looks like. Gukma was surprised. Suduk and Boot An. From what I've learned, Phi Thien Long sect was formed by combining the power of the Thoi and Tit families. But why are you attacking these people? Fine, I'll ask those involved myself. Get lost, and if you come near again, I'll kill you. Fu Xin bowed gratefully. Thanks to you, young master, we're alive. Thank you for your righteous help. Kirk Ma waved it off. Don't be so formal. But I think you all should move somewhere safer. Fu Xin clasped his hands. Thank you, young master. I'm Nyut Fu Xin from Kamtuk Nyet Ra. Kirk Ma asked if they were hungry. I have a rabbit, but it's not enough for 4. Let's head to a nearby inn. Fu Dong observed Kirk Ma carefully. Though many of us survived, I still feel something's off. The atmosphere is so tense it's hard to start a conversation. Fu Hung boldly asked, Young master, do you know anyone from Phi Thien Long sect? Kirk Ma explained, I'm not affiliated with that sect, but I'm investigating it. So, if you know anything about Phi Thien Long, please tell me. Fu Xin nodded. Yes. Since you saved us, young master, I'll share everything I know. One day, Kamtuk Thoira and Kamtuk Titra announced the formation of Phi Thianlong Sect, combining the power of their two clans. They tried to recruit other clans to their side. Our Kamtuk Nyet Ra was invited but refused. Suddenly, they mercilessly attacked our clan, so my grandfather, father, and siblings. After that, my sisters, Fu Dung and Fu Hung, along with the survivors, made our way to take shelter at our uncle's house in Tay Nin, Than Hai Province. But then we got caught by them again. Kirkma thought. Kamtuk Nyet Ra is one of the top 5 clans in Kamtuk. So why are they trying so hard to drag families like ours into their faction? Fu Sing asked, by the way bro, where are you headed? Kukma said, I'm on my way to where my master is, to Datmut Bondir. Fu Dung was surprised. That's also the direction toward Than Hai Province. Want to come with us until we reach our uncle's place? Kirkma stayed silent for a moment, then strange footsteps approached. He stood up, surprising everyone. What's going on? Kirkma said they're back, lurking around this hotel. Finish eating quickly and leave like nothing happened, so no one else here gets caught up. Fu Sin followed behind, asking, Bro, where exactly are we going? Why take this route, bro? Kirkma said they'll show up soon. The leader of the thugs ahead sneered. Is it us? The ones who dared mess with our people? His underlings nodded. Yeah, that's right. He continued. All right, identity confirmed. No more talk since you dared block our way, you're all dead. Kirkma glared. Using frying pans to fight, huh? Not bad. You guys are from Kamtuk Thoira, right? The black-haired leader laughed mockingly. Big mouth, huh? Seems like you're pretty strong. Yeah, I'm from Thoira. So what? What can you do? You really think you can take on over 30 of us alone? Kirkma started his move. You've been confirmed. The Thoira thugs began to panic. Huh? Didn't they say he uses a sword? What's that? With just one move, Kirkma took down the arrogant leader. He pointed at another thug. And you. I clearly warned you if you dared come near us, I'd take your head. Remember that? In the end, all you Thoira guys are just cowards. Even if we can coexist in this underworld, I don't have the mercy to spare a coward like you who doesn't know gratitude. Fu Sin was stunned. Asterisk, damn. How much hatred does he hold for his aura to be this terrifying? Asterisk. Kirkma's fury ignited. Today, I won't let a single one of you survive. Seeing Kirkma unleash times 2 Huiern Kin asterisk, Fu Sin's face was full of shock. Asterisk, that martial art. Was he once part of the demon sect? Asterisk. Jiang looked exactly like the demon sect's demon lord Kirkma. Tungkon stared thoughtfully at the book on the table. Given the current situation, rebuilding the bureau is tough without enough funds. Asterisk. What should I do? Asterisk. Von Heerp entered. Sir, are you worried about something? Tungkon was surprised. Bro, what brings you here? Von Heerp said. Our bureau chief is facing similar issues, so I came to check things out. Tungkon nodded. I see. I've arranged things for that kid, so tell the bureau chief not to worry. Von Heerp pulled something from his coat. Yes, I'll pass it on, but there's one thing. Tungkon looked at the paper on the table. Is that a check? Von Heerp said. This check is worth 10,000 gold. I'm lending it to you. Tungkon was surprised. Really? Von Heerp continued. Yes, but you have to sign an IOU to the general bureau chief. Hope you can pay it back properly. This money is to fund the Kumthan Bureau. After the adventure ends soon, everyone was curious how you got so much cash. Von Heerp explained. I took it from those who kidnapped Namkung too. I sent them to the other side. For the survivors, we need to use the money wisely. Everyone admired. Damn, I felt it before. But he really is an incredible person. Plus, he's putting all his heart into thinking about the Kumthan Bureau. With people like this, it's only a matter of time before this place rises again. Here's a letter for the bureau chief. Please deliver it. Von Heerp thanked them and excused himself. Everyone smiled watching him leave. All right, now there's nothing to worry about. A few days later, the 80th birthday celebration of the eldest in the Namkung family, the legendary Namkung Tuan Lair, was held. Hearing the news, I went to Lok Dung to both attend the party and rest. Lair Chow warmly welcomed me. Eat as much as you want. Xiaoan nibbled shyly. Thanks, sis. Lair Chow looked at Von Heerp. Thanks to you, it's all because of your efforts. He shook his head. No, it's all thanks to the bureau chief. Everyone chatted while eating. So many people here. Wow, this is a proper Namkung feast. Von Heerp turned to Han Bi and asked, Hey, do you know who those guys are? They're staring right at me. He said he noticed it too. Could they be mortal enemies? Van Heep feels suspicious. I sense a strange aura from them. Definitely not normal. Van Heep says, They don't look like ordinary gamblers, maybe about 3 of them. Han Bi looks annoyed. Where are these guys coming from this time? Seems like we're being chased from more than one place. Could they be from the Western Celestial Sect, or undercover members of Black Sand who've been laying low for a while? Xiaoan senses something off. No way. If they were after Sister Lixiao, our Han crew would have blocked her at the crossroads, not some random spot like this. Last time, I thought it through carefully when they disguised themselves as civilians. This time it's those Black Sand bastards. If so, we should strike first and hit hard. Van Heap suggests. From now on, everyone except Master Mui should pretend to switch places. If they target Master Mui, then they're Black Sand. Otherwise, they're from the Western Celestial Sect. Boss, please stand up for a moment. Xiaoan can't hold back. These damn leeches are relentless. I'll kill every last one of you, go to hell. Van Heap is surprised to see the items hanging on their clothes. It's the same thing we saw before. He stands in front of Xiaoan's sword, stopping her. They're not ordinary people. She's not surprised. How do you know? Van Heap glares at them. Who the hell are you to be following us? Hoa speaks up now. Can we move somewhere else? I'll explain everything. I'm Duanglu Hoa, from the Four Springs Sect. The Four Springs Sect specializes in crafting and using poisons and antidotes. They can kill hundreds with a single drop of poison and send enemies to hell with needles thinner than hair. Their legacy is producing poisons and hidden weapons. Yet, their antidotes are legendary, no one can match them. Hanbi wonders, why is the Four Springs Sect targeting us? Lu Hoa explains. We're not after you, we're actually chasing Black Sand. I can't say why. I just followed you after hearing Black Sand is targeting you. Le Chao asks, so, young Miss plans to follow us until we run into Black Sand? Lu Hoa avoids eye contact and replies, sorry, but yes, that's the situation right now. Van Heap draws his sword. Can you take a look at this? Lu Hoa is surprised. What's this sword? Van Heap continues. It's my time's soft sword asterisk. It looks pretty similar to the hidden weapon you dropped earlier. Seems like they were made by the same person. What do you think? Lu Hoa looks eager. You know that person? How can we meet them? Van Heap says, actually, I'm looking for that person too. If you explain the situation clearly, maybe we can work together. What do you say? Lu Hoa sighs. Since you've said that, there's nothing left to hide. But promise me you won't tell anyone what I'm about to say today. Van Heap nods. Got it. Lu Hoa starts explaining. Our clan has possessed an unfinished hidden weapon for many years. It's both a long-held wish and regret of our clan. Recently, I caught a glimpse of hope when I saw Black Sand's hidden weapon. We believe if that weapon was made by that person, then they can solve our clan's regret. And I discovered the creator of that weapon is none other than a man named Trungwin from Din. Xiaoan asks if she means she's searching for the creator of Black Sand's hidden weapon in Din, and Lu Hoa nods. Yes, exactly. If that's true, I believe he'll become a key figure in our Four Springs Sect. Le Chao asks what they plan to do next, and Lu Hoa says following us will be a big hassle, right? Xiaoan immediately says, don't be like that, just come along. She says meeting that person is a long-held wish of her clan, right? Then at least get a carriage and travel together. Fine, Le Chao toots. Le Chao reluctantly agrees. All right, let's do that. Probably better than sneaking around. Hanbi folds his arms. But young miss, you don't have to attend the Namkung family's banquet, right? I heard it's a major event. Lu Hoa nods. Yes. For us this mission is more important. The clan leader, my uncle, and the elder, my grandpa, will be there. He's shocked. Both the clan leader and elder attending a regular banquet? Is that even allowed? Lu Hoa slowly says. Not exactly, but I heard they'll discuss a newly formed sect called Flying Heavenly Dragon Sect, formed by the Gansu She and Gansu Chu clans. Van Heap frowned. So Kamtuk Tiat family and Kamtuk Chu family have merged? Forget the flattery. Helping her means she's fully taken control of the Tiat family now. Before the fire was lit, a scruffy-looking man was sitting. A rough voice called him. It was the boss of Hatsa, Dak Nai Kan. He asked if the thunderbolt arrow was finished. It's a weapon like a thunderstrike, a crossbow bolt that can obliterate targets with maximum power. Its mechanism involves explosives attached to the arrowhead, detonating on impact. Creating such a high-level hidden weapon requires an expert, so Dak Nai can imprison that specialist here. According to him, this pitiful man appeared while chasing that woman. Instead of answering about the thunderbolt arrow's progress, the man only asked about Kim Lan's status. Not daring to say she was dead, he covered it up by saying she was on another mission and had taken the hidden weapon the man made. He added, she also said she really liked the hidden weapons made by the craftsman and was looking forward to the thunderbolt arrow's completion. Hearing this, the prisoner stayed silent for a moment, then spoke. 10 days is needed to finish the thunderbolt arrow, so I asked Dak Nai Kan to wait another 10 days. Dak Nai Kan, having achieved his goal, chuckled with satisfaction. As long as the man finished the thunderbolt arrow, Dak Nai Kan could personally deal with Van Heap. Just as he smugly left, A murderous gleam flashed across the prisoner's pale face as he watched Doc Nai-Can's retreating back. At the Tu-Hai Shao Bureau, a cold, dry wind blew. Standing before the hall were two people dressed alike, a man and a woman. The woman introduced herself as Duang Lu Hoa from the Sichuan Duang family, and beside her was Duang Qi Thiet. Tran Tuangkan introduced himself as the bureau chief here, politely saying he didn't expect to meet such core members of the Sichuan Duang family in person. Deputy Chief Tran Lu Trak also joked, "Having esteemed guests like you makes me feel the Shao Bureau is about to get lucky." After some small talk, Tran Tuangkan invited everyone inside to discuss matters. Suddenly, Duang Lu Hoa spoke to Van Heap. "Wait a moment, I have something to say to him," then asked if he could spare some time. Once away from the group, Duang Lu Hoa bluntly asked, "Does Van Heap know that person is being held by Hat Za?" He denied. "I was simply given this thon sword by that old man, and guessed his son might be imprisoned by Hat Za." But Van Heap promised to repay the old man for the sword. Duang Lu Hoa wondered, is Van Heap planning to repay by rescuing his son? Then what if the Sichuan Duang family forcibly takes the son away? He calmly asked her, "Are you really going to do that?" Duang Lu Hoa admitted without hesitation, "If it's for the family's benefit," plunging the atmosphere into silence. After a moment, Van Heap smirked slightly, telling her, "I don't think the young miss is that kind of person." Duang Lu Hoa was puzzled how he could be so sure. Van Heap slowly explained, "Throughout my life, I've seen all kinds of people. In their eyes, there's desire, ambition, despair, contempt, sadness, fear, relief, and worry, every emotion hidden behind those eyes. But what I see in the young Miss's eyes is the desire to protect her family's honor and a faint anxiety about whether things will turn out well." Van Heap knows people like that act very carefully, avoiding big mistakes like the Shao Bureau chief. However, if what Duang Lu Hoa says really happens, Van Heap can only do his best to keep his promise. At that moment, she noticed Van Heap's gaze was sincere. Lying wouldn't work, so she decided to be honest. "If that person insists on coming with us, will you let him go without a word?" Van Heap generously replied, "As long as Duang Lu Hoa doesn't trick me into handing him over." Hearing the answer she hoped for, she clasped her hands in gratitude and said she would remember this. After finishing their discussion, they returned to the others gathered, who warmly welcomed Van Heap and Duang Lu Hoa to join them. Xiaoan was curious about their conversation but quickly reassured herself that Van Heap wouldn't do anything shady, then happily poured wine to invite Duang Lu Hoa. She just smiled, seeming to trust Van Heap a lot. Xiaoan explained that Van Heap would help spread the name of the Forbidden City Shao Bureau. Hearing this, Duang Lu Hoa asked curiously, "Can Van Heap really do that?" Xiaoan didn't deny it, and added that she only trusted him as a colleague. The next morning, Xiaoan woke up and went outside. The cold morning wind made her shiver, thinking maybe she drank too much yesterday. On her way, she noticed a group nearby recruiting volunteers, and that they had gathered a large team already. Xiaoan's gaze caught Van Heap helping to pull Dung Lir Hoa after she spilled her tray. But what really threw her off was Van Heap's outfit. She had no clue what he was up to. Meanwhile, Doknai-kun held a newly finished weapon in hand, ready to kill. Just then, a subordinate reported that someone from the intelligence bureau had successfully infiltrated the enemy's Tio Kuk, making him laugh smugly. Time to go hunting. A few days later, on a cold, dark night, Yen Hanbi and Xiaoan were patrolling outside when he asked his sis why she looked different. She said nothing new, just that Van Heap seemed to be plotting something with the sisters in the warehouse, suspicious since he wouldn't let them get close or say a word. Even more suspicious, Van Heap then ordered both of them to set traps to catch the Huxa. Isn't that crazy enough to deserve a death sentence? Xiaoan insisted she had to ask Van Heap what he was hiding after this. Suddenly, a voice interrupted. It was Van Heap, who seemed to have overheard their chatter and asked, "So, what did you hear that got you thinking like that?" Wai stepped forward, puzzled. "Didn't I assign people to take turns as bait? Why are you all gathering here?" Xiaoan argued she was doing it to see if it would attract the Huxa's attention. Van Heap thought maybe the Huxa really were tough to handle. When suddenly a strange scent drifted through the air, he quickly recognized it as the heavenly tracking aroma. He told Xiaoan, "Looks like we were right, they really did catch the Huxa's attention. Seems like they're already here." Yen Hanbi also sensed the enemy's presence, drew his sword behind his back, and asked Xiaoan which side she wanted to handle first. She said left, and he agreed to take the right. Then, the battle erupted. A wave of Huxa rushed toward Yen Hanbi, only to be instantly wiped out by a single strike. Van Heap on the other side was just as fierce, quickly taking down his share of the Huxa. According to the plan, everything was going smoothly, so Wai started thinking through a few new angles. Van Heap swung his weapon with a loud clang against the attackers, and Yen Hanbi silently judged that Van Heap had definitely leveled up. Xiaoan didn't have time to notice his progress because things were getting intense where she was. Trait recognized these as the mercenaries they had once recruited, and asked von Heerp if he already knew everything. While talking to Xiaoan, von Heerp caught 3 spears flying straight at him from the corner of his eye. The moment they hit the ground, they exploded, leaving him wide-eyed in shock. The attack caught all 3 off guard. Xiaoan worriedly asked if von Heerp was okay. Suddenly, Dok Narkun's eerie laughter echoed as he lamented that von Heerp had wasted his attack. Wai vaguely guessed this was the Huxa's leader, and sure enough, the guy wielded a complicated weapon. Von Heerp bluntly asked for Dok Narkun's name, and of course, he didn't deny it but taunted. "You know me?" Without hesitation, von Heerp charged straight at him. He calmly blocked von Heerp's strike with a lightning bolt and counterattacked. But von Heerp easily sliced through everything. He couldn't believe his eyes. Von Heerp's attack wounded Dok Narkun, who quickly fled. Looking at the black mark near his chest, he wondered what it was, but when he saw von Heerp chasing him, he detonated a smoke bomb. As the smoke cleared, he vanished. Von Heerp told Yin Hanbi to quickly hunt down the Huxa. They hadn't gotten far, but before Yin Hanbi could follow, von Heerp hurried after the Huxa's escape route. He guessed Dok Narkun wasn't just running, he was probably in the mansion looking for a hostage. Of course, it wouldn't be that easy. This thing works best with a crowd, especially in danger. Dok Narkun planned to load this rocket core into his crossbow to kill everyone here in one shot. Von Heerp tracked him down as Dok Narkun warned. "Don't expect to leave here unscathed after humiliating Huxa like this. You arrogant fool. First, I'll finish you the one who wounded me, then take out the rest." Dok Narkun, driven mad by defeat, was determined to kill everyone. He was about to draw his crossbow with the rocket core when a loud noise rang out, not an explosion, but a powerful strike that severed half the arm holding the crossbow. Everyone was stunned by the scene. Dok Narkun convulsed in shock, silently cursing the guy who said this was the ultimate weapon. After analyzing, he realized that guy must have known Kim Lan was dead and gave him this weapon to kill him. Dok Narkun was completely enraged. Nothing went his way, and worse, he was betrayed by his own hostage, losing his arm. Blindly glaring at von Heerp, he shouted. Seeing Dok Narkun's pathetic state, von Heerp didn't hesitate to slash across his body. Seeing their boss defeated, one subordinate desperately fled deep into the forest. He blamed that bastard at the manor for deliberately creating a self-destructing poison and handing it to them. Burning with hatred, he swore to kill that man. After a fierce struggle, Xiaoan finally found the moment to ask von Heerp if he had planned this all along. How else could he know the Huxa spies had infiltrated? He demanded von Heerp spill everything immediately because he was dying of curiosity. Von Heerp exchanged a subtle glance with Dung Leer Ho, who caught his meaning and spoke up, saying she would explain everything. Actually, Dung Ra never lost track of Huxa. They had intel that Huxa was disguising themselves as mercenaries to infiltrate Teokuk and the city, so Dung Leer Hoa believed Huxa was desperately hunting von Heerp and Xiaoan's group. Based on that, young Master Dung Ra devised a plan and created a special tracking liquid from a deadly poison called Thien Li Tri Tung Hung mixed with Toi Hon Tuit Bien Dok. The enemies usually carry a small amount to build immunity, so when they touched a brush dipped in this liquid, a faint glow appeared, allowing Dung Ra to trace their movements. Everyone had become suspicious, but this led to the current situation, making her deeply regretful, so she quickly apologized. Due to the surprise, it turned out that thanks to this method, Dung Leer Hoa and von Heerp detected the approaching Huxa earlier. Yen Hanbi also understood a bit. After Dung Leer Ho finished explaining, von Heerp said they could now track the escapees back to their base and rescue Trunglai at the manor. Over there, a faint glow appeared. Thien Li Tri Tung Hung had marked the Huxa, letting Dung Leer Hoa see their path. She immediately informed everyone that the escaped Huxa were about 5 miles in that direction. Von Heerp suggested they hurry, and asked if Dung Leer Hoa wanted to come along since the distance was short but difficult for her to track alone. She nodded, understanding, and said she'd go, leaving the cleanup to others. With that, von Heerp and Dung Leer Hoa rushed out, following the Huxa's trail. The sky had fully brightened by now, and both kept pushing forward along the faint glow of Thien Li Trui Tung Hung. The scent grew stronger, confirming they were on the right path. Von Heerp suspected the Huxa had realized they were being chased. Dung Leer Hoa denied it, saying this was a special family-made scent only the Dung Ra clan could track. More importantly, once they realized Dok Narkun's death was caused by Trunglai at the manor, they wouldn't let it slide. So they had to rescue Trunglai fast before the Huxa harmed him. Dung Leer Hoa explained that Huxa was a highly prideful organization, far above other assassin groups. They'd do anything to protect their reputation, so if they didn't act quickly, Trunglai at the manor could be in serious danger. Suddenly, von Heerp said he'd go alone from here, and advised Dung Leer Hoa to head back since she'd reached her limit. She refused, saying she'd spent countless nights experimenting but couldn't create anything, so she was fine. Von Heerp reassured her not to worry. He wouldn't forcibly take away someone she cherished because her feelings were genuine and he could sense that. Trusting him, she pulled something from her pocket and handed it over. It was a medicine that temporarily heightened Von Heerp's sensitivity to Thienli Tru Tung Hung. She entrusted him with the mission, begging him to save Trung Lai. At the Huxa Manor, sure enough, that arrogant subordinate was torturing Trung Lai for betrayal and setting traps. But Trung Lai remained indifferent, quickly dodging them to find help, proving the weapon worked. This enraged the subordinate, who threatened to kill him. Trung Lai wasn't scared, and boldly told him to go ahead and kill him. That was the subordinate's purpose anyway. The subordinate sneered, saying killing him now wouldn't benefit anyone, so he'd slowly torture him to death. Suddenly, a red light shot toward them, and before he could react, the subordinate was killed, leaving Trung Lai at the manor utterly shocked. It was Tu Von Heerp arriving just in time. He looked down and suspiciously asked if this was Trung Lai at the manor. Seeing the ring sword in Tu Von Heerp's hand, he understood. Without delay, Von Heerp introduced himself, saying he came to fulfill a promise to his father, and told Trung Lai to come meet him now. But Trung Lai said he had no face left to meet his father, a man who abandoned his own birth pains for a woman, and ending up in this pitiful situation was truly heartbreaking. Tu Van Heep decisively swung his sword, cutting the chain around the old man's ankle, and said, "Everyone makes mistakes in life, but the key isn't avoiding them, it's fixing them." He reached out to Trung Lai at Din, smiling to encourage him that there's still hope, so keep going, come back, and start over. The father panicked, dropping the talisman to the floor, desperately calling for his son. Holding back his emotions, Trung Lai said at Din, "You bastard." The son froze, then called out to his father repeatedly. The old man embraced his son, saying his name at Din. "Where have you been? Why are you only showing up now?" Tears streamed down the son's face as he cried and begged for forgiveness. Tu Van Heep stood behind, satisfied. "This is how I repay your sword, old man." Duong Lu Hoa stood beside him, whispering, "Now all that's left is." Then she turned and walked away. He was surprised and asked young Miss Duong, "Are you okay?" She replied, "Yes, thanks to you." Tu Van Heep worried about her and asked if she came here to see them. "Wait a moment." Duong Lu Hoa's eyes looked distant and worried as she honestly said, "I'm sorry for disrupting this precious reunion moment between you two." The old man said, "Please forgive us." He approached Tu Van Heep privately and expressed, "You have to leave already? How can I ever repay this kindness? The moment he gave me the sword unconditionally, saving his son became my mission. He thanked me. Much appreciated. But who is this young miss?" She introduced herself. "I'm Duong Lu Hoa, from Sichuan Duangra." The old man recognized Sichuan Duangra, famous for crafting, using, and detoxifying poisons, right? Why would someone from there bring her all the way to our place? She hesitated, explaining. Seeing her pause, Tu Van Heep stepped in. This young miss played a huge role in rescuing the young master. The old man chuckled lightly. "Is that so? Seems I was unaware." She politely clasped her hands. "No, it's just what I had to do." Then she straightforwardly said to the old man, "I have something to discuss regarding the young master." Young Miss Duong honestly revealed everything that had happened so far. While tracking the origin of the hidden weapon, we accidentally got Tu Hak Za and overheard info about Trung Lai at Din. Drawn by that, they searched everywhere to find him. She showed the treasure to the old man. Of course, he recognized it and looked suspicious, thinking Sichuan Duangra approached them because they coveted the young master's talent. He said, "I understand." Tu Van Heep respectfully said, "Old man, we will treat the young master like nobility. If he agrees, Sichuan Duangra will guarantee his safety." Luoha reinforced their promise, saying she would never interfere with the young master's fate. Tu Van Heep tried to convince the old man. As long as the young master's talent hasn't faded, people will keep hunting him like this in the future. So entrusting him to a trustworthy place isn't a bad choice, right? Ongantan said, "I get your point. If that place respects the young master's talent and can ensure his safety. However, this isn't something I can decide alone." At Din, feeling sorrowful, he lowered his head and confessed, "I've brought shame to my father with my past actions. On this matter, I want to follow my father's wishes to make sure I don't mess up again." The old man looked at his son with affection. Lu Hoa gently persuaded, "Old man, I'm also a weapons crafter. I know very well how precious the young master's talent is. Could you honor us by letting us work with him?" The old man thought carefully, then reassured, "If the young miss is confident her judgment of the boy won't change, she can take him." At Din, he clenched his father's hand, thanking him. "Thank you for trusting me, father." Tu Van Heep, representing the group, said, "I, Duong Lu Hoa, will support the young master with all my abilities. Honestly, I didn't think much, but no one really cares about Trung Lai at Din like young Miss Duong does. So, the decision is up to her? Tu Van Heap turned away and left. At Din, Trung Lai grabbed him. Bro, do you have to go? He asked. Why? Do you have something else to say? Trung Lai honestly said, I thought I was a monster. All I knew was how to swing a hammer, and I planned to live and die like that. But when you cut the chain around my ankle, I was reborn as a human again. So, he said tearfully, could I ask for a favor? She said to Lord Trung Lai at Din, wanting the honor of becoming sworn siblings with the young master. Van Heap hesitated. What does sworn siblings mean? Exactly, he snapped. Who's your bro? If you go to Duong Ra now, you can live better than anyone else. Getting involved with a stray like me won't do you any favors. Old man Trung Lai calmly said, It seems my son senses a deep brotherhood with the young master who saved him. This old man also has a similar request. In his mind, Van Heap kept circling the idea of sworn siblings. He recalled past memories that haunted him, and remembered the advice from his senior. Bro, brothers, family, do you even realize how much that kind of baggage can chain and weaken a person? Don't you see that me holding you back was thanks to this freedom? And yet you say I'm doing something stupid with you? Later, Van Heap hesitated before speaking. It turned out the young master was clinging to him, trying to explain his wishes. He said he still remembered when you treated me like a little bro before. I even thought you were using me because of young Miss Tungyen. He already knows I have feelings for young Miss Tungyen. So with that settled, Van Heap drew his sword. He said, At Tai Din, so what now? Thanks to the person who created this smooth sword, my bloodline sword technique can finally be perfected. And if fate has destined me to save someone with this sword, then so be it. They reached out and wrestled, while Lu Hoa looked on in surprise. Van Heap said, From now on, we're brothers who pull flesh. From this moment, anyone who dares harm even a single hair on your head, I'll hunt down and send straight to hell. Later, they met Master. Outside, he looked at the building and said, Looks like this is the place. Tai Thuong, the head of Sichuan Tong Ra, opened the door, asking if he could come in. Lu Hoa warmly greeted, Ancestor, uncle, and introduced. Nice to meet you. I am Tang Van Din, Lu Hoa's ancestor. I am Tang Thien Nhia, head of Sichuan Tang Ra. Lu Hoa reported everything to Master. If it's Sichuan Tang Ra, they might have already threatened and forced Trung Lai at Tai Din with poison. But at Tai Din, it seems young Miss Tong decided not to do that. I didn't want to get involved, but now it's my brother's problem. If they don't respect what I say, young Miss Tang can handle it herself just fine. Meanwhile, in another conversation with Taemon Duke Tro, the old man said he heard from Lu Hoa that you helped a lot. He wondered where my Hin Trung Taetu's hometown is. Van Heap crossed his arms, curious. Taetu? Lao Tu Tone said it seems one day my granddaughter and little Tu Trung Lai will become travel companions. So he's my Taetu, right? Besides, from the first time I met you, I felt you belonged to a clan with a long history and deep roots. Right? Think about it. It seems the old man mainly suggested going together to ask about this. It's not exactly a prominent place. The old man stroked his beard, hesitating. Van Heap explained from the aura you showed, it doesn't seem like that. To avoid trouble, he gave a vague answer. I had to fake it, trying to find something to say to him. Our sect is called Tai Am Mon, the place where the Tai Am to Nap Kin is passed down. He said Tai Am Mon cultivates the Tai Am to Nap Kin. So, what's your master's name? I cheerfully continued. Have you ever heard of Tai Ethan Quan, the legendary hero? Tang Van Dien's name rang a bell. He hesitated. Seems like I've heard it before, but not really. Van Heap was smug. How would you know? I made that up myself. Thinking back, that old man could be considered my master. And since he wrote something like that, calling him master isn't so bad. He spoke with authority, snapping me out of it. Like he knew, young master. Tang Van Din said he couldn't help but be curious about the Taimon Tu Nap Kin. Can I have a chance to test myself, young master? I thought. So his real goal was to test me from the start. His aura is like this headache material. No choice. After considering, I said, all right, what do I have to do? Later, they went to a forest to show off their power. Van Din used his magic in front of Van Heap, trying to push a metal sphere. The old man said, that way my father could fully assess the young master's strength. The young master must push this metal sphere. He had to push it halfway from its original spot. When it reaches this marked line, slowly ease off. He encouraged. Ready? Let's start. All right. Young master, Van Heap confidently agreed. I'm ready. He focused on every move, thinking. So this is how they measure inner power. Well, comparing my strength with the head of a famous clan isn't bad. I have to take this chance to measure the inner power I've built through the Tai Ap to Nap Kin. Van Din pushed alongside him to test strength. The stood nearby, worried, as his father was being pushed back. Van Din focused on his potential power. My inner strength was slowly wavering and dispersing. I'd never experienced this kind of energy before. Van Heap wasn't far behind. While concentrating, he thought it was mysterious and delicate, soft yet strong and elegant. But I sensed an overwhelming amount of evil aura, intolerable to contain. Both were evenly matched, using all their inner strength. He showed determination, feeling the power was immense but not oppressive. On the contrary, it was pure and clear. He asked, "Should I try one more time?" Tian Yia and Tai Din watched the duel anxiously. Tian Yia panicked. "Oh no, father's easing off." Van Din eased his strength, surely planning to counterattack. The strong energies clashed, making Tian Yia and Tai Din's eyes widen in surprise, while even he didn't know what had just happened. It seems that power managed to neutralize the sphere. Van Din spread his hands, thinking deeply. I was sure I prepared to block a blow like a barrage. Yet he hesitated, unsure what to say next. Von Heerp asked curiously, "So what exactly is this strength test about?" That evening, the two dined together in the palace and chatted warmly. Van Din said, "Young master, do you mean the Taiyi Divine General didn't teach you the final breath technique of the Taiyin Earth Absorption art?" Von Heerp calmly replied, "Why? Am I still lacking something?" He asked again. "So if you master that final breath, it means you've learned the entire sect's secret technique, right?" He answered, "Yes, but the last step of this breath technique has side effects." Van Din asked curiously, "Side effects? What are they?" He picked up his wine cup, sharing with a worried tone. "Although it generates immense power, the more you master it, the more toxins accumulate in your body. So, if you can't completely neutralize the toxins, even fully mastering the technique won't let you use it properly." Meanwhile, he thought to himself, well, that's just made up anyway. Van Din asked, "Is that why your master, the Taiyi Divine General, secluded himself and stayed out of the martial world?" He pretended to bow his head, voice full of regret. "Yes, every time he tries the breath technique, the toxin side effects get worse." Van Din sympathized. "That's truly unfortunate." After a moment, he said, "However, my master discovered a possibility and entrusted me with a mission." Van Din asked, what mission he was willing to share. Even using immortal pills only offers temporary relief. He said we need to always carry something that maintains continuous effect without losing potency even for a moment. Van Heerp thought slyly, "If you're making things hard for me, you better offer some consolation." Then he continued, "Among them, the poison-resistant seed is the best, but it only exists in legends. So he asked me to bring back the silver-warm jade, which currently has the best toxin resistance in the martial world." Hearing this, Dung Van Ding was surprised by the story and the request. He gasped in shock. "Did you say silver-warm jade? That's a precious item even in my clan. How does this kid even know about it?" Changing his expression, he pondered. Van Heep inwardly rejoiced. "Good. That reaction fits my acting effort perfectly." He kept pressing that idiot Inhan B. The info about the Sichuan sect wasn't useless after all. That guy really knows a lot about the martial world. Then Von Heerp continued acting, sighing. "As you see, that poison seed is so rare that even if you're lucky, you can't get it. And even if luck strikes, you wouldn't know where to find it. No one would willingly hand it over. So how could I meet my master?" Hearing this, Dung Van Ding chuckled. "Yes, exactly. Nui Han has many entanglements. Anyway, I'm feeling a bit dizzy, so I'll take a walk to clear my head." "Excuse me, I'll be back soon." Von Heerp said, "Take your time." But his eyes were thoughtful, smiling with satisfaction. Deceiving an old man like this felt a bit uncomfortable, but this might be the chance to get the silver-warm jade, the poison seed that resists all poisons. Now, all that's left is to wait. That night, at the Kumthan Escort Agency, a secret 7th director opened a confidential letter written by an insider. It stated, "First, the 10 major escort agencies of Henan have nearly collapsed, and their positions are rapidly being replaced by the Heavenly Dragon Escort Agency, Jin Hang Escort Agency, and Flying Horse Escort Agency. These 3 agencies have secretly absorbed other agencies and taken over their territories, but no evidence of illegal acts or connections has been found against them. Their outward appearances and all department activities seem completely normal, with nothing suspicious detected." The more he read, the more worried he became. However, considering the timing of their appearance and the similar methods they used to absorb the fallen agency's bases, they definitely originated from the same source. He continued reading the next letter. It clearly stated the following. As he read, he pictured the situation unfolding at the escort agencies. The more he read the documents, the more worried he became. However, Considering the timing of their appearances and the similar methods they used to take over the outposts that had fallen, it was clear they all originated from the same source. He continued reading the next document. The letter clearly stated the following. As he read, he pictured the unfolding situation at the outposts. 2 of the 3 bodyguards escorting Song Lichao, the head of the Camthon outpost in Nam Duong, were the burly Da Qi Yan Hanbi. The identities of the other 2 remained unknown. A month ago, on the second day after 2 of the 3 newly hired hunters arrived, 10 assassins attacked Camthon outpost but were all taken down by those 2 hunters. After that, during their journey, they were ambushed by 3 notorious bandits, Komak Ma Quan, Tubi Tiujian, and Sich Viem Ma Truong. All 3 were killed by the 3 hunters. Li Chao stroked his beard, stunned, thinking they had actually defeated the Back Lam Tam Kwai. The swift swordsman and Da Kui could roughly guess his background, but it was hard to figure out who was wielding the moon sword. Could that be why the Thienlong outpost had been acting more cautiously lately? That meant they still hadn't fully identified those 3, lacking enough intel. Third, Camthon outpost was still taking refuge at the Tu-Hai outpost in Lac Duong. It was confirmed that a major battle broke out there early in the morning. Thanks to those 3 hunters joining the fight, the enemy forces were wiped out, and all movements of the Fima outpost, which had been expanding its influence in Lac Duong, were temporarily halted. Right now, the skills of the escorts from Camthon Escort Agency are unmatched. He guessed that Lair Chao's confidence comes from having those top-tier fighters backing him up. That guy definitely has a unique aura. I sense some strange energy. No matter how you look at it, he's not your average escort. Where the hell did this guy come from? After reading the report, he slammed his hand on the table and decided, once this is done, I have to swing by Lac Dung myself. Suddenly, Lair Huan rushed in, panting hard, calling out to his uncle. It seemed his father was urgently looking for him. His condition suddenly worsened. He quickly ran to his father's sick room, politely supported his elder brother, and warned, "Sis, sit tight, don't push yourself. I'm here now, so don't worry." This elder brother was Tong Yut's son, former head of the Camthon Escort Agency. He hesitated, calling out to Lair Chao. The master comforted him, "Don't worry," then checked the elder brother's health. "It's bad, blood is congested, we have to act fast." He called Lair Huan to assist. Lair Huan responded sharply, "Yes, uncle." He used the *** Mystic Yang circulation technique ***. Gritting his teeth, he focused, but realized the blood flow was more blocked than expected. Lair Chao concentrated all his energy, channeling it into his elder brother's back. He predicted, if the blood can't flow to the Dantian, then... He hesitated. Suspicious, could it be that strange energy? It flowed like a stream but hit like a wave. Neither crude nor delicate. He felt it was exactly the same energy that guy possessed. It was slowly reversing the blood congestion caused by the *** Mystic Yang circulation technique ***, gradually pushing it out. Later, he asked Lair Huan if anyone had cared for his father before. Lair Huan leaned back, recalling, among the escorts, there was one who often took care of him. If you've met Sis, you've probably seen him, though he's just about my age. He added that this big bro was special in both swordsmanship and internal power. Lair Chao began suspecting that person was Von Heerp. Sure enough, it was that young man. Suddenly, during treatment, his father vomited blood. He looked worried. He's throwing up blood. The biggest blood flow block is gone. That mysterious energy seems crucial for us to get through this relapse. If only someone could control his internal power. The old man said, "All right, Lair Chao, just keep observing for now." She sincerely thanked him. The uncle wiped his sweat, breathing a sigh of relief. Looks like he's survived the worst attack. The uncle thought maybe people with special physiques like Von Heerp possessed that energy. But what kind of background could have nurtured such an extraordinary young man? Von Heerp bowed, thanking those in front of him. "Thanks for letting me through such a tough path. From now on, I'll walk alone." The escort from Dungra pulled something from his pocket. "Wait, I have something for you. This is a token proving you're part of our clan." Von Heerp shook his head in disbelief. "Don't you guys get what I said? I told you I'm a monk, right?" Dungra laughed. "We're not forcing you. This token proves you're a clan member and acts like an antidote. Though it's not made from White Plague jade, it can resist most poisons. It's a gift to thank you for honoring my father's wish. With your skills, not many can beat you. But on your journey roaming with the blue sword, you'll often face unwanted conflicts if others find out you have our clan's backing. They won't dare act recklessly. That's the only purpose of this gift. Please accept it." Von Heerp reluctantly took the token. "Good to hear such honest words. I gladly accept. The Dungra clan really has some unexpectedly kind folks. Looks like I won't have to worry about money anymore." Dungra continued. "If you need white jade plague, I'll give it to you. After everything's settled, drop by our clan. If our disciples and the Nitu Trunglai family become friends, you won't be an outsider anymore, right? Von Herp glared but said, that doesn't mean I'll accept all your dirty tricks. Then we'll trade the White Jade Plague when you visit our clan. Dungra smiled but thought, *kumph. Changing the subject like that? Asterisk. From afar, the master shouted loudly, hey, Van Heap. Looks like the flag of the Camthan Hunter Guild is here. The guy from Namkung said it seemed like this was the most famous hunter guild right now, and apparently, they came to pick you up. The master laughed excitedly. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Meeting again is great. Van Heap was stunned. No way. They already decided to continue the journey? Even more surprising was seeing Thuong Quan Tran Kiat here. Guild leader, how did you know where I was and find me? Le Xiao explained that after the young miss and young master disappeared like that, and no contact for days, she asked Keithiat young master to find them, and as soon as she heard you were with Namkung's people, she decided to set off. Van Heap wondered, but why gather everyone to come find me? Le Xiao said the issue with Tu Hai Hunter Guild was resolved. Now we just need to continue our journey. And just in time, my uncle arrived. After discussing, we decided the next destination would be Namkung Ra. Thanks to my uncle's foresight, we managed to find the young master. Van Heap was silent for a moment. I see. So who is he? According to the guild leader Tong, many people gathered at Namkung Ra, so he probably has no reason to refuse raising the Camthon Hunter Guild flag. Considering the atmosphere at Namkung Ra, some from the righteous faction might show up, so this is a good chance to dig deeper into Phi Tien Long Mon there. Big bro, you found a good inn. After all, the journey must continue and everyone's tired. The guild leader can finally rest well for the first time in a while. Tran Kiat smiled. You must be a top-tier fighter. I've heard a lot about you from Le Chao. There's still some time before the Namkung Ra event, so rest up and get ready here for a few days. Van Heap said this inn was surprisingly quiet. Usually it's normal to have many people here, but it felt like someone deliberately chased everyone away. Do you know anything about this? Tran Kiat replied, well, what I can guess is you're very interested in Phi Thien Long Monday. No need to worry about unnecessary stuff. Le Xiao trusts you, so I have no intention of causing trouble. Van Heap seriously said there's a chance you're working with Phi Thien Long Mon too. Tran Kiat immediately denied. I can assure you that's not true, but I have nothing else to say. If you want me to say more, you'll have to do this first. Then all of Tran Kiat's subordinates challenged Van Heap to spar. Is there really a martial art that's so agile and elusive? If we underestimate him, we're definitely in big trouble. In the end, Van Heap defeated them all. Tran Kiat chuckled quietly. Enough, let's continue our talk. Tran Kiat handed Van Heap a drink. Have a glass. Thanks for your effort in the middle of the night. Let's drink first, then talk. Van Heap glanced, rubbing his muscles while fighting. You really have weird tastes. Tran Kiat lowered his voice. Forgive me. I know what I did was rude, but I think this is the surest way to assess your ability. You really live up to your reputation. Now I can talk with peace of mind. Before we start, I want to express my gratitude to you. Thanks to you, my sworn brother overcame his illness and is recovering. I'm truly grateful. Van Heap said the sworn brother he mentioned was the former second guild leader of Camthon Hunter Guild. I just shared a bit of my inner strength, nothing special. Tran Kiat recounted. Not long after I returned to Camthon Hunter Guild, my sworn brother fell critically ill. So I immediately sealed his Mingmen point and tried to guide the chi flow in his body. It greatly helped unblock the blocked acupoints. That was truly a mysterious source of energy. Van Heap smiled lightly. It's nothing. It's just that the former guild leader had strong vitality, the Tai Yi divine technique. The original source, right? The old man who created the Tai Yin earth absorption scripture must be a respected powerhouse. One day I have to find out his identity. Now that I think about it, you've been the one asking all the questions so far. So will you answer my guess about your true identity? First, you must know that one of the hunters accompanying me is the Ghost Blade. That big tough guy belongs to the Martial Alliance. Yet you didn't recognize him. You have subordinates and gather information quickly. But a core member of the Martial Alliance didn't recognize you? That probably means you belong to the government, maybe even a secret agency. Finally, it seems you left Camthon Hunter Guild to carry out this mission. What do you think? Am I close? Tran Kiat thought to himself. This guy's intuition is sharp, I can't hide it anymore. Van Heap continued. Then I believe you won't say anything pointless. What do you want from me about Phi Tien Long Mon? I'm listening. Tran Kiat ordered his guards to seal off the area to avoid any unexpected trouble. Van Heap drank while saying, You've got some fierce subordinates. I never thought anyone could step on my sword. If all four of them teamed up like before, they could put on a sick fight against that demon blade beast. But still, they won't beat me. Tran Kiat chuckled. I thought he was cold, But he's got this side too? I've been checking on you and the Demon Blade. Plus that girl named Xiaoan. Heard she single-handedly took down over 10 assassins from Black Sand. Rumor has it, you three also killed 3 elder powerhouses, known as the Northern Forest's 3 demons. Specifically, you alone wiped out several forces that toppled the Xiao sect in Henan. Recently, you tracked Black Sand's people chasing Xiaoan. You found their base and eliminated the remaining members all within a few months. Coincidentally, your moves almost mirror what I planned. Van Heap bit into some meat. So you want me as your subordinate and you'll compensate me? Is that your point? Sorry, even if I'm solo, I already have all the info I need. Tranquiet waved it off. No, you don't need to be my subordinate. Actually, it's easier if you lead us. From now on, those 4 will follow your command instead of mine. I feel safer with someone like you watching over them. Phi Thien Long Sect is closely monitoring your moves. Only by focusing on you can they gather more intel on them. Van Heap seemed unconvinced. Does he really think those guys will listen to me? Especially that woman, she treats me like an enemy. Tran Kiat explained. I've struggled with them. If they can take you down, this whole game is off. Their pride might get bruised, but they'll accept the outcome. Van Heap suggested. Still, I'm uneasy. Call them over, I'll tell them I don't agree. Out of options, Tran Kiat admitted. I heard you're looking for Tungyim, that female assassin. No matter how talented you are, there's a limit to solo intel gathering. Dongho told me how you reacted to Tanmai, and I figured out a lot just from that. Van Heap narrowed his eyes. So you're trying to lure me in with that? Tranquiet shook his head. Just my guess. How could I report without solid proof? I just want you to know what a group can do. I heard besides eating and sleeping, you spend most of your time sword training, already possessing mysterious energy and your own sword techniques. If I gave you this, would you reconsider? These are 4 secret martial arts manuals, basically the 4 legendary arts of the world. First is soul-shattering demon flute, left by the demon flute master Xiaoji, said to drive hundreds of fighters insane with just 1 flute. Next is a water technique called Great Sea Hidden Scripture, created by a guy named Gravedigger Liu from East Sea's Golden Island Taoist sect, rumored to let you move underwater like a fish. Third is Mao Mountain Demon, left by a fighter named Lu Dan from Mao Mountain Sect, said to contain unique and strange techniques of that sect. Lastly, a secret manual called Dark Path's 3 Secrets, left by Dark Path Thundermaster Yi. We just got these manuals, so I can't guarantee their contents. These are desperate royal palace techniques. What do you think? If you agree, one of these will be yours. Van Heap hesitated. Damn, this is a trap. He really wants to tie me down. Like he said, Fethian Long Sect will send even stronger masters. These will definitely help. One day, even Hanbi and Xiaoan won't be around. I need to get stronger. Might as well let him have his way. Fine, I agree. I'll take this manual, Tran Kiat said. That's the Dark Path's 3 Secrets, right? You sure? The others have more fame and are easier to learn, Van Heap asked. It's called Dark Path, right? So it belongs to the heretics. Probably fewer varieties than the orthodox sects. Tran Kiat observed him given his talent. He could master soul-shattering demon flute, or Mao Mountain Demon to the highest realm, and become a top-tier powerhouse. But he's interested in dark arts. Can he walk the right path like the demon brother? Alright, a man of his word, take this. I'll give you command over those 4. Just show this token, and any order you give counts as a direct royal command. You can't use it to harm the royal family, government, or civilians. Beyond that, everything's your call. Van Heap held it up. Asterisk, so now they have to obey me, huh? Asterisk, call them all here. Your name is Donghor, right? You seem to be the boss among the 4 of you. I bet each of you has a few subordinates under your command, right? Donghor nodded, including his subordinates. Each had 4 underlings, and each of those had 4 more under them. Van Heap leaned on his hand. Of course. Good, now call everyone here. So you must be Bukhor, Tahor, and Namhor. Pleasure, I'm Van Heap. Now, I'll give the first order. I don't need any of you, so don't even think about coming near me, that's the first order. Second, when the senior isn't around, you all disband. You've got plenty of subordinates, and your intel network must be top-notch. I don't like you knowing things before I do, so just take a break. Third, while you retreat, all decisions fall to Donghor's subordinates. I'll be busy mastering the secret technique soon. That's it, don't worry, I'll keep my promise when the time comes. Trunkirt chuckled. I got played, didn't expect you to respond like this. Everyone, disband. He said he'd keep his word, so just wait and see. Tuhan leaned back in his chair. All right, have you gathered all the intel? The subordinate bowed and reported. Yes, sir. As you said, the recent moves from the royal family and the Von La Min's assassins have been quite intense. Tuhan said coldly. Then the one hosting the Southern Palace Conference must be the royal family's dog, that is, Trungwin. As for Vor Lam Min, it seems the well-informed elder from Kaibang has started making moves. Although the royal family has a reluctant subordinate, he surely can't reveal his government official identity. The real issue now is those beggars moving freely. The Hannam bureaus and clans have been restored, so the most prominent part of our Tathian Min recently is Fithian Longmon. Titra and Thoira will interfere to ruin our status. The royal family can wait. Focus on the Kaibang elder, Vo Ang Thun Kai first. Send word to Dartfach Makim, elder Liam Thuet Trui, that it's time to eliminate Thun Kai, the one he despises. If he wants to investigate Tathian Min that badly, let him come and find out directly. Van Heerp began meditating. To master the Huyen Ta Tam Quit, I need to cultivate my meridians and breath beyond human limits. A person can't live if their meridians stop flowing, but these two parameters limit humans from surpassing their boundaries. If someone can completely break free from these limits, they can become a transcendent being, controlling the entire blood vessel network and managing true qi to unleash superhuman power. That's the essence of Huyen Ta Tam Quit. This is totally different from Thium Tho Nop Kin. It ignores what's natural to humans and absorbs power by becoming a superhuman. Its breathing method itself fundamentally differs from Thium Tho Nop Kin, which is used for healing. It's a strange secret art, and I like it. I'm sure I'll master it. I only trained for 2 hours, but I'm already exhausted, and I only practiced 2 of the 3 chapters in this manual. If it weren't for the protective aura from Thium Tho Nop Kin guarding my meridians, I'd have been in critical condition several times. I wonder what the last chapter contains. If someone masters all previous content, they'll reach the state of Mind Moves the Body and earn the title Huyen Ta. Mind moves the body. If the trajectory of the Huet Dirp sword technique can move exactly with my thoughts, creating a new sword technique beyond what I can do now becomes totally doable. Anyway, why are you here again, Donghor? I told you to rest last night. Donghor jumped through the window. Master, it's impressive how fast you spotted your subordinate. Von Heerp said, Impressive? Why are you lurking around here again? Donghor replied, Subordinates can lurk anywhere as long as they keep this golden dragon water sword. But what's going on? You look wiped out. Von Heerp tiredly answered, No need to worry. This thing seems to have worse side effects than I thought. Donghor actually came with a request. Please lend me your strength to save someone. Von Heerp wondered, You've got tons of subordinates, why need me? Donghor explained, Everyone has their own missions, so it's hard to gather them all in one place. My subordinates heard Tathian Min is chasing one of our martial elders. In half an hour, they'll pass by here. The senior Thurnquan elder isn't here, so my subordinates can't stop them alone. If you could bring the demon blade along, Von Heerp said indifferently. Forget that Hung kid. That demon blade? He's way too interested in digging into my business. More of you would just be a hassle. Donghor curiously asked. I thought you two started traveling together from that illegal gambling den. You're not close? Van Heep chuckled. Everyone's got their own business, bro. I didn't just drop by Cam City for no reason. Why should I help you? I already got the technique I wanted, so I can just wait for the right moment to make my move, right? Dongho said before leaving. When I investigated, I thought you were someone who valued loyalty and promises. I was wrong. Just forget what happened. Van Heep looked at what he held, realizing the guy retreated easier than expected. He must care a lot. Anyway, whether it's Tathian Min or their crew, it's best to let them fight each other until they're exhausted. Looks like I need to tell them I don't live by some fake loyalty. Dongho turned to the enemies, holding on a bit longer. Though these masked fighters are all experts, if they're that guy's subordinates, this isn't enough. The elder of the beggar sect barked fiercely. If you're from Thuongquan, fight with the mindset of mutual destruction. None of you will be taken alive. Thuyet Thui appeared calmly as usual. Elder? I've always wondered if I catch and torture you, will you really become a prisoner? Considering the damage you've caused before, I have to catch you alive this time. Jia, move out. Neither Hong that nor the martial army can stop us. Dongho charged without hesitation. Damn. Can't believe he caught up already. Thuyet Thui smirked. What a reckless firecracker. Lucky Van Heep stepped in to pull me back. Planning to rest in your next life? Tough luck, let's talk. Thuyet Thui laughed crudely. You're the one who killed 2B2 Dien, right? But that alone isn't enough. I want to duel you, but I can't miss today's chance. Van Heep thought there's no way to let this old man escape. The elder glanced back while running, his sword aura so strong this firecracker is legit. Dongho said, Our goal is to protect the elder. What now? Dongho replied, Forget it. As long as we can hold that old man off a bit longer, we're good. Thuyet Thui flew into a rage. Stop playing around. I'll crush all of you in one blow. Van Heep started struggling. No, this footwork alone won't cut it. He's the strongest I've ever faced. I have to take him down in one hit. My body feels weird under the Blood Evil 3 secrets, but, alright. Time to use what I've learned. The father of Tong Kukchu overcame poison, so I can too. Let's test the fortune of the 4 Tai Yin Earth Absorption Classic. Dong Ho rushed to Van Heap, who was in pain after fighting Thuyet Thui. Hey, snap out of it. Dong Ho observed. Something's off, huh? Is this fire nest possession? Hey, what are you trying to do? Dong Ho said. We can't just sit here. This happened because he tried to cover for us. Both Nam Ho and Tae Ho also stepped in to help. If not for him, we'd be dead. Dong Ho can't carry this alone. This time, Dong Ho also lent a hand. Alright, if you guys insist, there's still a glimmer of hope. But if this keeps up, we'll all lose someone. Tran Kiat arrived. Focus up, this is worse than I thought. Things moved faster than expected. Too late for me to turn back. At this rate, we're all in danger. I can't lose all of you, we have to survive. Van Heap recalled his past. Let's go, I won't starve here. Later, Van Heap got sad over the words. He's just a servant, no different from a beggar in our clan. Kid, you're overreacting, that's not cool. Yen Hanbi said. You really love sword training, huh? It's time to go, bro. Please take care of them. Suddenly, Tiet Tu Pham grabbed Van Heap's wrist. Your fiery temper is acting up, you're paying for your arrogance. No matter how smart you are, not everything in this world will go your way. The mask you wear was removed by someone with similar wit. What will you do now? Can you really find Tung Yen? Hearing this, Van Heap seemed like a different person. In another scene, seeing Yen Hanbi deep in thought, Tong Lichao asked, What's up? Something wrong? Yen Hanbi wondered. Haven't seen him for days. Did he go train again? Xiaoan said. Not long ago, I saw him enter my room with a book. Van Heap was unconscious for days, now just waking up. His head still aches, everything around looks strange. He quickly asked, Where am I? Back Ho replied, Relax, this is one of the rooms we use. From Van Heap looked at her and said, Critical condition for me? We were saved because someone took down the soul-stealing demon sword. Thurnquan Trunkirt entered from outside. You're awake. I've already heard the situation from Dong Hor. I told Lair Chao you had to leave temporarily for a mission I assigned. You can return to your place at the right time. We plan to depart for Namkung Jia tomorrow. Honestly, when I handed over Huang Long Thuithu, I never thought we'd end up saving each other like this. It's lucky Buckhor intervened in your life's fate and saved you. Buckhor snapped and turned away. In the end, the elder solves everything. That's it. I'm out. Ignoring her, Thunquan Kiat continued. Looks like you fell into a state of key deviation because of the Huianta Tam Quit. That was almost a disaster. Are you okay now? From Van Heap added. If that old geezer hadn't acted so recklessly, we wouldn't have been pushed this hard. Boss is talking about the shadowless body technique. He's sending messages to Namkung Jia. Taking advantage of the chaos, he somehow reached his destination. He's just doing his job like us. Thanks to that choice, he's probably arrived just in time. From Van Heap thought bitterly, because of that old man, we almost got wrecked and ended up facing the King of Hell. Of course, this was bound to happen. This kind of work really isn't for me. I was saved this time, so I'll keep my promise. But Master Thurnquan, you know, Huang Long Thuithu is in Dong Hor's hands. When the time's right, I'll just leave. I'll quickly repay what I owe them. Buckhor hurried back and asked Captain Dong Hor, Is everything okay? Why is everyone gathered like this? Captain Dong Hor replied, We're all fine, actually. I should say we feel way better. She didn't get it and asked, What do you mean? Numhor raised his hand near his neck. I had a painful lump there for a long time, but it's gone now. The chi flow that Master Thurnquan mentioned seems to have an effect on us. From Van Heap, sitting in meditation, suddenly realized something unbelievable. Even though I was holding my breath and blocking my meridians, unlike before, my body is naturally absorbing the chi flow. This really makes me think that going through chi deviation at least once was worth it. Du Thien Har's decision wasn't bad. Too many interesting things are happening. Mid-Central Plains, at Nam Kung Thera, who's paying? Look who's here, the old beast, Tu Swan. Dung Ra is still alive and kicking. Namkung Tuanzu, Supreme Lord of Namkung Thera, Namkung Hua Chun, Lord of Namkung Thera. Old Tu Xuan Dung Ra was furious. Brat, when you see the clan leader, you should bow immediately. What are you staring at? And the argument started. I thought you'd be a better person after 30 years of confinement, but no change at all? Then Namkung Tuanzu mocked him. Old Tu Xuan Dung Ra snapped back. This guy. Looks like he'll never mature even risking his life. He calmed down and stopped arguing. Maybe this is the first time you all have met this guy. Let me introduce, this is Trungdi Taiding, a VIP guest of our Tu Xuan Dung Ra. Namkung Tuanzu said bluntly. This young man is the one who will finally fulfill the long-held wish of Tu Xuan Dung Ra. Our clan will soon become more prosperous. So how did you all meet him? Don't sugarcoat it, we got lucky. I met him through a priceless benefactor. He'll be coming to Namkung Ra, and I'll introduce him to you then. Namkung Tuyendu said, let's go inside and talk more. You must be tired. Old Tu Swandung Ra pressed Namkung Tuyenzu. All right, what's the current situation? He answered. Yesterday, the shadowless divine body arrived here. Your worries were right. Looks like we need to prepare thoroughly. Sure enough, they've started acting seriously, heading to a place with a strange atmosphere. Xiaoan was stunned by the beauty. It was amazing. Unbelievable, there's a place even better than Confronting. Do I sound too rustic? Tongler Chao laughed. No wonder it's one of the great families of Central Plains. This place is truly magnificent. From Van Heap said. This ghostblade here is famous, so to keep Confronting's dignity, we should pay respects to the Lord of Namkung Thejia, right? Yen Hunbi bristled. Me? From Van Heap replied. Don't act like a dumb bear. From Van Heap looked at Xiaoan. You come with me and observe around. There are all kinds of people here. Hearing a call, From Van Heap stopped. Seriously, let's just greet quickly and bounce. Even the Void Chi sect master came here for a stroll, and it's really crowded. The reason so many people gathered must be because most of the Central Plains clans have some issues to discuss, using this event as a cover. Hopefully, nothing unexpected happens. Just as I was soaking in the beautiful scenery, a girl appeared. Void Chi brother. Void Chi turned around happily. Whoa, who's this? Isn't this our youngest young miss, Nanlai? Ngun Li praised. Brother, you're still looking sharp, huh? Hey, are you looking for Dung Lir Hua? Earlier, I saw Dung Lir Hoa with a guy I've never met before, and they were talking with a woman and another man. Void Chi pondered. A guy I've never seen? Could she already have a crush? Looks like I have to pay them a visit. Moore, can you lead the way? Ngan Li noticed Xiaoan and Tu Van Heerp joking around. How many rooms are there? 1, 2, 3. That swordsman looks seriously strong. She pointed at them. It's those guys, the ones talking with Dung Lia Hoa and that other man. Void Chi looked their way. Could it be? He's here to ask for permission? Are you two guests who came with Dung Ra? When Tu Van Heerp said we were bounty hunters from the Kum Thon Bounty Agency, Void Chi replied, you must be the famous hunters I've heard about. Unbelievable to meet such renowned figures right after arriving. Tu Van Heerp turned pale. Yeah, we're looking for Dung Lia Hoa. The young miss is discussing things in the East Annex over there. To ease Void Chi's surprise, since how would I know, Tu Van Heerp added. Asking if we're guests of Dung Ra proves you're looking for them, so I guess you're curious about what happened to the young miss. Void Chi nodded. Exactly. I've heard the young master's martial arts are outstanding, but his intelligence is just as impressive. Just from that clue, you already figured out my intentions. Now I'm more interested in you. How about I lead you into the Namkung clan? As a smart guy, you must be gathering intel on the bureau chief's orders, right? I can help. Tu Van Heerp's thoughts showed clearly. This guy's sharp, no doubt. The Central Plains is huge. Thanks for guiding me. So that's what happened. You're trustworthy, young master. Things are going smoothly in many ways. He humbly bowed to the young master. Even though the Kumthon Bounty Agency chief had already paid respects, the young master should still greet the Namkung clan's people. Look, the Namkung clan welcomes guests everywhere. Tu Van Heep saw servants passing by. Are those servants from the Namkung clan? That's a massive operation, way bigger than Kamthuk Tietja. Teet Suduk is standing to welcome the clan head, thanking you for coming personally. His fake smile was obvious. Being from a noble clan, how could I miss the 80th birthday banquet of Namkung Sr.? Of course, I had to come. Titsuduk wasn't too pleased. What do you mean also a noble clan? Daotak's clan is superior. Thanks Namkung clan, we appreciate your kind gesture. Then the Namkung clan added, we'll fully enjoy the birthday banquet as well. Tuvan Hiep asked Wachi, Daotak? Who are those big guys? Wachi answered, why say Daotak? The muscular ones with 2 pairs of gauntlets are known as the mountain-breaking twin gauntlets. Thakbak Si. They possess limitless strength. I heard he cultivated an external chi technique to near invulnerability. The tall guy with the iron sickle is called the Iron Sickle Yama King, a crescent blade. He's also a master of external chi, and his Iron Sickle Yama King name comes from the fact that dozens have died under that brutal sickle. But the scariest is the clan's enforcer, Kong Jia Dernlok, who uses 2 rings called the Chaos Twin Rings. Though the rings are palm-sized, once thrown, they skillfully sever opponents' limbs. The strange movement of these rings is unpredictable unless you've experienced it. They're different from internal martial artists and demons. How do external masters fight? Xiaoan added, this guy's always interested in others' martial arts. Wachi, young master, do you know them? Huachi stood silently. So this is your type, huh? Suddenly hearing a voice, no idea who it is. Didn't expect to meet Huachi Huiyan all the way here in Hanam. Come here, who else but me would look out for Huachi Huiyan here? Where else but here would we meet? Huachi Lik replied, long time no see, Taimon young master. Taimon Tiu, one of the 8 Tio brothers, uses his elder brother Taimon Duk During's power, who holds an official post, to bully other clans with dirty tricks. But Shimin Xiao noticed Huachi wasn't exactly happy, glad to see Huachi Huiyan, but Huiyan's expression was far from excited. Then Shimin Xiao ran into Xiaoan, who yelled, "You're the one who sent assassins after me, you bastard. You sent assassins after me over some petty nonsense? Perfect timing, I'll make you look like a filthy dog." Shimin Xiao's blood boiled when Xiaoan insulted him like that in front of everyone. I was drunk then, but not anymore. You still think I'm an easy target? Charging in without gauging your opponent's strength? You're nothing but a mangy mutt. Then Shimin Xiao took a brutal hit from Ziyunxia when he tried to assassinate Xiaoan. After getting hit, Shimin Xiao shot down like a rocket. Thak Batsi chuckled. "Aw, flying light as a feather. Looks like you're starving," then suddenly pissed off. "Hey kid, you were wondering if we're thieves, right?" Xiaoan was stunned. "We were talking quietly and he still heard us from this far?" Ziyunxia nodded. "Jimin, you've got sharp ears." Thak Batsi laughed loud. "You guessed our job 10 years ago? Your observation skills are impressive. Plus, you're straightforward, I like that." "So, Xiaobing, you in for a drink?" Ziyunxia said. "Really? Then let's go. Lucky me, already got a chance to learn some external qi techniques." Xiaoan from behind, "Hey, what about me?" Huachi nodded. "Bro, looks like he's closer to them than us. But the Zimin family won't let this slide, this could turn into a big problem. At the lively drinking party, we rarely drink with others, but Ziyunxia didn't know who we were. Still, I really like his fighting style, a real man talks with fists, not trash talk." Ziyunxia looked at them, they were more built than expected, and seemed uninterested in anything but their own names. No wonder I didn't get drunk thanks to my unique constitution. But sticking around longer would just waste time. Ziyunxia tried to slip away. "Thanks for thinking well of me. I see you as elder brothers, so I want to ask a favor, is that okay?" They quickly replied, "Sure, what's up?" Ziyunxia continued. "I want to cultivate external qi like you, but I lack experience. Can I learn a technique or two through a sparring match?" One laughed. "So that's what you want? Too bad. I gotta refuse. Look at us, bad rumors about Gong Yada will spread everywhere. I'm not interested in hearing those noisy complaints. Just quietly sip in the corner. What do you think? For now, just drink. If you come to Gong Yada, we'll give you a warm welcome." Ziyunxia reluctantly raised his glass. "They were more straightforward than I thought. Fine, this time I won't back down. To handle them easier next time, I need to crush their spirit a bit." Ziyunxia shouted. "Perfect. Let's bet on who falls first." "No way, did you hear? One of the guards from Jinqing Xiao Bureau drank with 2 giants from Gong Yada, they totally passed out." Ziyunxia pondered. "Drank that much, and I'm not even tipsy? This isn't a scam, right?" Yanhan Bi stood nearby. "You're awake now. What have you been thinking lately? We can't let the chief misunderstand us over unnecessary attention." Ziyunxia interrupted. "That's why Sir Kuai Dao is by the chief's side, right? With you here, what I do isn't a big deal." Yanhan Bi continued, "You're strong. It'd be dangerous if someone like you hesitated with those who've lost their way. Of course, I never thought you'd always stick with us. If you go astray, I won't hesitate to confront you." Ziyunxia looked at Yanhan Bi. "I don't intend to live by what others call right or wrong." Yanhan Bi didn't give up, explaining that to earn others' trust and cooperate, you have to follow their values. The chief and Xiaoan will eventually settle their lives and work. What about you? Think carefully. After a while, Ziyunxia realized it was true Kuidao, and that reckless leader acted on Tu Volam Min's orders. Unlike me, Jincheng Xiao Bureau won't be openly attacked again. Looks like it's time for me to leave. Shadowless Body sat right by the window, startling Ziyunxia. If that guy makes the kid speak so bluntly, he's definitely a formidable figure. Elsewhere, Gong Yada's disciples' scolding was humiliating. Those two knelt and kowtowed. "No excuses, boss." Han was so pissed he was about to lose it. "You guys don't even know who that kid is, yet you happily drank with him and even lost to him. Pathetic. Anyway, after digging into that kid, turns out he's the Tiu master who resurrected the fallen Kumthan Tiu Kuk. Plus, he came here as a member of the Dung family and accidentally knocked over someone from the Taimon clan. This is a perfect excuse for Taimon clan to step up. That kid played a big part in provoking them this time. And you guys became allies with someone that noteworthy. So it's not a total loss. That might come in handy for us someday. For now, just stay quiet and watch how things unfold." At the Namkung clan's party, Taemon Duktrier showed up unexpectedly on their big day. Testing me? I'm here because of this unfortunate incident. As Chuvai knows, yesterday my rival got mistreated by a Tiu master from Kumthan Tiu Kuk. This tarnished our clan's reputation, so I hope young master Namkung will help us settle this. I heard this Tiu master is connected to the Dung family, right? Weiqi Lianze raised his hand to speak. Hold on, the fight started because of Taemon young master, not Kumthang Tiu Kuk. Claiming a link between Tiu master and Dung family here doesn't add up. Taemon Duktrier continued. Not only that, another Tiu master with Jiahua even admitted he dislikes my rival. My rival did nothing wrong, but it's very likely a conflict accidentally happened with two Tiu masters tied to Dung family. Either way, this looks like an attempt to slander the Taemon clan. Especially since Weiqi young master, who's close to Dung family, stepped up to oppose us like this. I believe this isn't baseless suspicion. This is trouble. Our clan's caught up with some tough characters now. What am I supposed to do as clan head? Taemon Duktrier reassured everyone. We're not asking young master Namkung to solve a tough problem. This is a no-holds-barred arena fight that should be settled with a duel. We just want your approval. Taemon clan wants revenge for yesterday's loss, so we demand a duel with that Tiu master from Kumthan Tiu Kuk. Vo Angtun Kai asked. You're Kamthuk Tit's servant, right? Tu Van Hiep clenched his fists. I heard you know all the info about the righteous sect. Impressive. The old man chuckled. You think Thurnquan Chun Kirt knows but I don't? The thing is, I owe you this time. Let me give you some useful info to pay off that debt. Taemon Chuchi, the Taemon family's second son, will come for you. He wants revenge for yesterday, don't underestimate him. Taemon Chuchi has mastered the Lu Li sword technique. As the name suggests, it's a sword style that uses a translucent blade to blind opponents. Though his swordsmanship isn't flashy, that technique is so sneaky many top fighters have died to it. Be especially careful when the Lu Li sword's blade switches from horizontal to vertical slashes. Tu Van Hierp thought. The old man acted like he was looking down on him from his palm, making even his goodwill feel half-hearted. He asked again, what kind of person is Thurnquan Chun Kirt? What has he said about me? He smiled and replied, he said you're a shadowy figure who holds all the info in the palm of your hand. He also said you're leading the upcoming Namkung clan conference. The old man was calmly surprised. Is that so? Then I'll just say this. Thurnquan Chun Kirt is the head of a secret organization operating under orders from the imperial family and the Blue Dragon Navy. Him sending you here proves that. Thurnquan Chun Kirt and I are currently cooperating to investigate evil forces infiltrating Central Plains. Also, this conference is happening because we've gathered intel on a key figure from that faction. The supreme leader of the Western Heavenly Sect, aka the beast of the secret cult, Jia Ma Lirt. He's likely the mastermind behind all this. That's all I can tell you. Tu Van Hiep asked one more thing. Since you know my identity, do you know anything about a guy named Tit Thu Pham? The old man Ho Huang said, I can't tell you, but he's definitely not on the righteous path. Then he tiptoed away. The man stayed behind, smiling to himself. Asterisk, is the eldest son really going down the wrong path? Asterisk. This was a man who once held back his anger and lived with integrity. If someone like that becomes a villain, that's seriously worrying. At the Namkung party, the old patriarch laughed heartily, raising his glass. What a perfect day. So many VIPs from the martial world gathered to celebrate my 80th birthday, it feels like I've turned 50 again. The old buddy sitting next to me, Bien Mai, said, You've never grown up a bit, no wonder you feel that way. Jia continued. Our master is lucky to live to 80, so cut me some slack if I overdo it today. Everyone just relax and enjoy. Everyone raised their glasses and shouted, Wishing you longevity as vast as Nan Shan, Lord Namkung. The boss's son added, As the head of the Namkung family, I sincerely thank everyone for coming to celebrate my father's 80th birthday. We were really worried about how to properly entertain guests who traveled so far. We prepared top-tier food and music, almost to the point of going broke, but no matter how delicious the food or soothing the music, it'd be a shame not to witness some martial arts at the Banquet of Heroes, where the fiercest fighters gather, right? Of course, we can't just demand our honored guests to fight right in the middle of the banquet. While I was stuck in this dilemma, the Jimin family noticed my problem and kindly suggested holding a martial arts duel. Those arrogant folks from the Star Mountain clan think the world revolves around them, huh? Surprisingly, the old man laughed loudly upon hearing this. This is great news. If the Shimin family hadn't proposed it, I was ready to personally step up and claim the duel points from Duong Van Din from 50 years ago. The Namkung patriarch shouted. The opponent chosen by the Shimin family is Tu Van Heap from Camthon Security Bureau. Tu Van Heap, Camthon Security Bureau, and Jimin Chutri, Jimin family. Please step onto the arena when ready. After saying that, he thought to himself, Sorry, Hiente Duong, but only a public setting like this can make the Jimin family stop their stubbornness. Yen Hanbi angrily asked, What's that about? Tu Van Heap thought, the shadowless divine technique? He warned as if they'd ambush me at night, but this is simpler than I expected. The old man is overthinking. The Namkung family, close to Duong Ra, has stepped in. I'm grateful but don't like unnecessary debts. Tu Van Heap stepped forward amid the buzz. Isn't he the kid who took down Jimin Tiu at the market? Sure enough, the Xiaoan family forced this duel to get revenge. Wait, wasn't that kid also the one who took down two big guys from the Kongjia family with a single move? He doesn't look ordinary. Is the Xiaoan family scheming something? Tu Van Heap stepped onto the arena, thinking carefully. The stronger you are, the more famous you become in the forest world. That's obvious. But like that dummy said, this involves Cam Thon's security bureau and Duong Ra, so rumors spreading wouldn't be good. Better to leave right after this Namkung family celebration. The Xiaoan family opponent also stepped onto the arena. He asked, You are Tu Van Heap, little brother. I owe you. He is Zeman Chu Tri of the Zeman family. I smiled slightly and replied, Don't mention it. That's enough talk. You'll owe me soon enough. The golden bell rang, officially starting the match. Kimen Chu Tri attacked Tu Van Heap with burning resentment. It's Luli's sword, every slash aiming to kill Tu Van Heap. Indeed, he's a formidable opponent, I thought. He might even rival the Northern Forest's three demons. But that's it. After the internal chaos, controlling the Tayam Naptho technique and Huyen Ta triple secrets became much easier. This swordsmanship no longer threatens me. The battle was fierce. Zeman Chu Tri took advantage of my momentary distraction to leap and strike down. I'll finish you. People outside shouted in fear. Danger, brother. So many actually worry about me. I was touched and thought. I've gotten involved in too much. Big bro just like before. Did you ever feel this way? I can't even wait for the banquet to end. With resolve, I advanced. Blood Butterfly sword style. Fourth form, Blood Butterfly vanish. Each move left Eamon Chu Tri helpless. In the end, he collapsed, surprising all the elders. Zeman Duke was stunned and scared. Zeman Chu Tri lay unconscious beside the shattered Lu Li sword. Tu Van Heap thought to himself, I have to leave now. Meanwhile, the Simon Patriarch and O Tri Elder were still wide-eyed in shock. The elders were equally surprised. Le Chao said, Tu Van Heap has gotten stronger, huh? Yen Hanbi added, He's mastered a new martial art. He's showing a completely different world from before, totally next level. The Southern Sect leader declared in surprise, Victory goes to Tu Van Heap. You two can step back now. Please return to your seats. Tu Van Heap strode forward confidently amid everyone's curiosity. What kind of sword technique is that? I've never seen a technique like that before. Not just the sword skills, but you could feel that unusual aura. I didn't expect this win to be so beyond imagination. Tu Van Heap thought quietly. It seemed everyone was wary of Luyen Tatam Kiet. He turned back and bowed, saying, Thanks to Master Namkung for giving me the chance to showcase my swordsmanship. Still, the skill gap was huge, so this duel was a bit unfair. Simon really needs to step up. Hearing this, Simon Duke was furious. He continued, Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the feast. With that, he quickly turned and left. Le Chao asked curiously, Where are you going, young master? Yen Hanbi quickly grabbed her shoulder to stop her. He's trying not to be a burden. You shouldn't follow him. From afar, a figure cloaked in shadow was watching everything carefully. It was the shadowless god, wondering about the fire. Watching Tu Van Heap's back, At Tri Tong Huyen thought, Young master too, is he provoking them on purpose to avoid hurting those around him? Truly a free-spirited guy. After leaving, Tu Van Heap climbed a tree, troubled, sitting to think. The wind's getting chilly, the weather's turning cold, but not as cold as back then. He's recalling his childhood. Suddenly, a soft voice called out, Young master too, what are you doing sitting alone in this gloomy spot? He turned and asked, Guard, what's with that outfit? What's your mission here? She snapped. Do you think I only act on orders? I'm just here to watch the feast. He thought, Got it. She's like me. Seems she has nowhere else to go. He said, Come to think of it, I heard Lord Thuong Quan say you were the first to save me. Earlier I couldn't properly thank you, but even if late, thanks for saving me. She replied, We helped each other, so it's no big deal. Still curious, he asked seriously. Why are you here? She shouted irritably. I told you, I'm just here for the feast. Confused, he changed the subject and asked the guard, Is that really your real name? If you're really just here to enjoy the feast, then you must be off duty, so I don't think calling you guard fits. If you don't have another name, why not come up with one now? How about Bakmai? You've used your codename for so long, it's part of your identity now, plus it ends with Mai. You're touched but pretending to be modest. saying if I want to call you that, then I can. But are you sure you're okay with this? She turned to check on him. You left the duel like that. How do you plan to deal with the consequences? He recalled and explained. I've been searching for someone for a long time, and now I must leave to continue that search. We understand each other's needs, so it's best I leave quietly, until we meet again. Saying that, he turned and continued his journey. Back Mai waved after him, saying, Could it be that the secret beast you're looking for is the one? He immediately turned back, tapped her shoulder, and asked, How do you know? She panicked and answered, There's a place called the Goddess Sect. I stayed there for a while. There, women who had nowhere else to go gathered to learn magic and academic knowledge. Thuangquan received news that she might be there. Although the Goddess Sect isn't a fixed-base organization, now that winter's here, they might be somewhere to avoid the cold, so there must be a way to find them. He was deeply grateful, thanked her, then turned away. On the way, he thought happily, In such a short time, I've seen how the world really is. Met people smarter than me, learned stronger martial arts, and even felt close to them. When I meet young Miss Tungyen, I'll have plenty to share. Back at the feast, everyone was still enjoying the lively performances. Later that night, after the banquet ended, the elders gathered for the Great Southern Conference with the Da. The Da spoke, Thanks to everyone for coming from afar. Despite busy schedules, due to urgency, we'll get straight to the point. The Dragonhead gang leader, Lord Shadowless God, will explain. Some wondered, but Shadowless God didn't seem to be here? Someone nearby quickly explained. That's not true. Shadowless God just arrived. Now everyone's here, let's begin. Thanks to the time and sacrifices our bros had to make, we've managed to gather some intel on the Shadow Force eyeing Central Plains. The organization's name was uncovered as Tathian Min. Leading this alliance is a rising sect in Kamtok province, called Fethian Long Sect, and it seems they're genuinely rallying forces through this sect within the martial world of Min. The core of this alliance is led by the elder leader Jiaman Lirt, known as the Beast of Occult, holding the position of Supreme Elder Leader. The leader of Tathian Min is his top disciple. He, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Yellow Dragon are all disciples of Jiaman Lirt. Among the 4 sect leaders, only the Black Tortoise sect leader has revealed his identity. His name is Jia Lurt Tu Hun. He's the son of the elder leader of Tathian Min, and the last disciple personally trained by Supreme Elder Leader Jiaman Lirt. After hearing this, the elders broke into a sweat and whispered, This situation is rough. The martial world's safety hangs by a thread, and yet we had no clue. Shadowmaster continued, Though it's a bit late, we must find a countermeasure now. Let me propose one. Decades ago, legendary seniors discovered a secret passage hiding something inside 3 Jade Buddha statues. 2 have been found, but the last one remains a mystery. It's not yet time to reveal what's inside the Jade Buddha statue. Once all 3 are found, we'll learn through the elder leader. Another issue involves the existence of the 2 greatest martial artists. One is the neutral hero, the other the righteous, demonic hero. Their existence is a huge obstacle for them. So far, they've stayed quiet, lacking the confidence to face such powerful fighters. So, the fact that we can now often detect their movements means a major disaster is coming. Right? Everyone's getting anxious, fearing they've already reached Tianma City. They've infiltrated that deep? The villains asked. Looks like they're trying to spark a civil war in Tianma City. That would be the biggest threat to the Central Plains martial world. So the righteous demonic hero is just ignoring it? Shadowmaster continued. But we've noticed a strange move in Tianma City. The righteous demonic hero is secretly training a disciple. Everyone was shocked. No way. I thought he always looked down on martial arts and was fickle about taking disciples. Shadowmaster explained. What old martial artist wouldn't want to train a disciple? Maybe this is even more urgent for him now. However, the Ma Sect's top martial art, Tula Mysterious Technique, isn't something just anyone can cultivate. If taught to an ordinary person who masters it fully, they could easily fall into enemy hands and vanish without a trace. Though it's hard to fully grasp the genius's foundation, something earth-shattering is definitely about to hit the martial world. Tianma City is a place of deep worries and silent thoughts, truly suffocating. This place used to feel warm, but now Tianma City feels like a prison filled with stupidity and tension. Since the Patriarch coldly expelled that decent man a few days ago, I can't shake this feeling. That's when I realized Tianma City is just a fortress gathering place, preparing for worst-case scenarios. After that, I tried to handle the city's problems alone without anyone's help. But kicking out such a polite and talented young master like that with such attitude, isn't that Tianma City's downfall? Seeing this change, Jade Whisperer and the elders sighed in disappointment. After expelling that bastard, Vothu Pham or whatever his name is, the Lan family head has become really cold. Since then, she must have lost faith in the demonic path. Before more talk, 2 people got a report from their subordinate. There's a summons from the Thien Ma City Lord. All Thien Ma elders must gather immediately. Behind the mountain, outside Thien Ma City walls, Tung Am Mountain Patrol Officer wondered. That's weird. The City Lord must have some plan, but demanding strict patrols on Tung Mountain like this? Anyway, considering the alert in Thien Ma City, this must be a top priority. Suddenly, a strange noise made the two alert and ask who's there. It was the guy expelled a few days ago. The two asked surprised why he returned, if it was for revenge. He replied, I want to see the City Lord. They exchanged looks. His aura was dangerous, then shouted, No chance. To get past us, you'll have to step over our bodies first. Two of them charged at Han, who smoothly countered with a move. They both exclaimed in surprise, wondering, wasn't that the Tula Huiyan technique just now? And that energy, how could someone master the Tula Huiyan technique? It's a martial art only the City Lord can use. Han thought to himself, it seems similar to the City Lord's style. I've wondered if I've been practicing the Tula Huiyan technique correctly, but hearing this puts my mind at ease. Han then told the two, I have something important to discuss. Please take me to see the City Lord. Keep it quiet, don't mention anyone else. After hearing the news, the elders immediately gathered in full before the Ma hero's mansion. Then he appeared and said, Thanks for coming together. I guess you're all surprised that I suddenly agreed to train under the Heavenly Demon Order. The reason I accepted this unexpected training is to discuss an important matter concerning Heavenly Demon City. As you all know, the Tula Huiyan technique is what brought me to this position. Even though my master taught me deeply, I can't say I fully understand the profound secrets of this revered martial art. That's also why I haven't found a disciple capable of properly inheriting this technique. That's why I haven't accepted any students until now. But today, I will reveal something I've always kept hidden. Regarding Van Lin and Fong Lin, I started teaching them the secret arts of Tula Huiyan 10 years ago. So today, I plan to officially take them as disciples and train them with all my effort. Indeed, after hearing this, the elders were overjoyed and encouraged him. Congratulations, City Lord. We've waited so long for this news, it makes me so happy and relieved. Exactly. Now we can finally ease our worries. With the Tula Huiyan technique continuing to be passed down like this, Heavenly Demon City will surely become the ultimate powerhouse in the martial world. Although everyone was excited, Hua Than felt a bit uneasy, sensing something hidden. I suspected there were suspicious figures lurking within Heavenly Demon City. But who would have thought that cunning old Ho Li, who always pretended to be obsessed with Go and bored with everything, would suddenly openly accept disciples to inherit the Tula Huiyan technique? What exactly is the City Lord thinking? Cut tonight at the Ma Hero's mansion. The atmosphere is extremely quiet. Right now, Kirk Ma is sitting inside a small room, silently pondering. After seeing my abilities, they've let me into the city. The City Lord must have known I'd return and prepared accordingly. Just then, a voice entered Kirk Ma's mind. You're here. To avoid eavesdropping, they communicated telepathically. Ma Hero sighed and said, I've heard about your achievements from Van Lin and Fong Lin. They say you've mastered the Tula Huiyan technique skillfully. Forgive me for receiving you like this after such a long time. You might not know, but Heavenly Demon City is currently filled with scheming and plotting. I plan to hide you from them. Van Lin and Fong Lin will act as your stand-ins for now. While deceiving them, you have a task to do. This might be the start of your revenge. At this, Kirk Ma nodded feverishly. You've seen through my intentions. You even understand why I came to Heavenly Demon City to train. Suddenly, he asked, Do you know a man named Tu Van Heerp? Besides you, there's another person chasing the power behind Phi Long Gate, and that's Tu Van Heerp. He's famous worldwide for his outstanding martial arts. Unlike him, you must stay hidden and face the dangers coming to this world alongside me. Are you ready for that? In Kirk Ma's mind, right, it's lit. If that's the case, I've got my own mission to carry out. I'll do whatever it takes to get stronger. Then Kirk Ma bluntly declared to Ma Hero, Of course, Master, even if I have to walk the path of the demon way. Cut to Namkung Thera, Hanbi quickly arrives after being summoned by the spirit. You called me, boss, he said seriously. Time is gold. Tu Van Heap will soon be hunted by the Western Heavenly Alliance. To catch him, at least one of the 4 Western Heavenly Lords will step up. You need to focus on finding the last Jade Buddha statue. However, the clash between Tiu Tudo and the Western Heavenly Alliance will be a great chance to assess their strength. Watch their full capabilities closely. You must witness their battle until the very end. Snow was falling even where LaShaw was hiding. She looked at the scene, feeling a bit uneasy. The snow has started falling. Is the young master really just leaving like that? Where could he possibly go in this weather? To ease her worries, Master said, Sis, don't stress too much. With his personality, I bet he's just gonna starve somewhere out there. Still, I'm pretty worried about Van Heap. I suspected Tu Van Heap, but didn't expect him to leave without a word. No letters, nothing at all, what a careless guy. Meanwhile, Senior seems to be eavesdropping on everything. Do you think Senior has heard any news about Tu Van Heap? Suddenly, a voice spoke up. So, are we all leaving now? Heard you're about to leave, so we came to see you off. Thanks for everything, Lu Hoa said respectfully, and Le Chao replied, No, we're the ones who should be thanking you. Even so, Lu Hoa added, I heard Tu Kong Tu already left. He's like a benefactor to me. I never got the chance to properly thank Tu Kong Tu, and now he's gone. I guess that's just how he is in the end, Lu Hoa's little brother said. He's always been the type to face the world alone, no matter what. Well, all we can do is hope for a reunion someday. Tong Hu Yen stood in a corner, watching them with a heavy heart, feeling regret. Too bad for Tu Kong Tu, so many people cared about him. Still, it seems way too soon to really understand his life. Meanwhile, countless enemies were hunting Van Heap down. He had to fight hard against them. This time, Van Heap was caught in a brutal battle. 10 days have passed, yet the number of pursuers hasn't dropped one bit. I must have taken out at least 50 of them by now. How did they close the gap so fast when I only rested for half a day? With the enemy numbers growing, Van Heap had to act fast. He immediately unleashed the Blood Butterfly sword technique, first form, Blood Butterfly Chaos Dance. Suddenly, a sword like a chain slashed toward him. Van Heap barely managed to block the strike. Turns out, they were elders from the Demon Guild. Dao Trung also said taking this path was a bad call. Given the situation, Van Heap had to think carefully. Their presence here means they plan to end this all in one go. Right then, Dao Trung pulled out a sinister-looking flute. The flute's sound cut through the air like razor-sharp slashes aimed at Van Heap. Still, he had enough strength to defend himself. The smoke slowly dissipated. Dao Trung smiled smugly. Heard you're pretty smart, keeping quiet and using tricks, huh? But before he could celebrate, Van Heap suddenly launched a sword strike straight at his head. Lucky for him, he blocked it just in time. The two ganged up on Van Heap. 1 against 2 is never fair, so he struggled hard. This weapon has a similar trajectory to mine but heavier. This time, instead of blocking, I have to dodge it. Suddenly, while distracted, 2 more enemies rushed in to attack. Yet Van Heap dodged them skillfully. But Dao Trung wasn't done, he blew the flute again. A deadly wave shot straight at him. This situation was hanging by a thread. The blast created a massive explosion. Compared to their full assault, Van Heap was covered in wounds. Dao Trung said, Amazing, you can still endure my dark energy in this state. Van Heap thought. From their coordinated attacks to the dark energy and that iron flute, each of them uses a completely different martial art. If I try to counter each one like before, I'll get overwhelmed. The only way to overpower them is to use the inner power I've built from the Tai Yin Earth Absorption Classic. In the next attack, I have to unleash my full strength. At that moment, Dao Trung laughed. The Blood Phantom Swordmaster is dumb, fighting alone with a flute like this, just asking to die early, huh? Things had gotten insanely tense. In the final moment, Van Heap had no choice but to use the Blood Butterfly sword technique, fourth form, Blood Butterfly Body Veil. The destructive power of this move shattered everything around. Even their flute and sword formations were destroyed in an instant. The boss smirked and said, Looks like you're no different. At this moment, Van Heap's body was badly wounded. Even though he had sealed his acupoints using the top technique of the blood left 3 decisions, his body couldn't hold on. Yet, after wiping out this group, another one immediately showed up. If only I had a bit more time to catch my breath. Just as Van Heap was on the brink of death, someone came to his aid. The arrival was unexpected. It was Tung Yen, who used her own body to shield him. Tung Yen suddenly appeared. Tu Van told him to focus on escaping first, then secretly handed him a pill to help him endure his wounds while fighting off the bastards swarming in. Tung Yen was quick to get into attack stance, urging him to hurry and get out of there. She unleashed the white sword technique, fiercely fighting off 2 enemies alone. Tu Van Heap swallowed the pill she gave him, breaking through with over 10 times his fading stamina. First awakening, Blood Butterfly, Chaos Dance, then swiftly finishing off the 2 attackers. But the pill's effect was limited. Once his strength was fully drained, he couldn't maintain this state for long. Just as Tu Van Heap was losing control, luckily Tung Yen seized the moment. The 2 enemies who took the hit caught him, and they fled far away. In a forest by the stream, Tung Yen had to channel her energy to help Van Heap recover from his injuries. She had set up a formation, so this took some time since it was only a temporary fix, but at least it restored part of his strength. Tung Yen gently affirmed he'd become terrifyingly strong, surpassing even what she imagined. Not only proud of this guy, but she also carried a heavy heart full of longing. After partially recovering his body and strength, Van Heap could finally calm down to cultivate and plan how to take them out. Right now, neither of them knew what the next group would do, But since the leader had been defeated, they'd act soon. Van Heap thought if things went as planned, the next one to show up would definitely be. Before finishing, he turned to quietly tell Trungwin to leave silently. They'd definitely chase me once I appear. When that happens, she should exit the formation. I'm just bait. No intention to help the Martial Alliance or the Royal Seven. I have to test them with my own strength. Trungwin was worried sick, but Van Heap was firm in convincing her. You found my location, so you probably guessed something about the young master's whereabouts too. So go find him, I'll definitely find you. After a moment of honesty, Trungwin hugged him tightly, pouring out feelings she'd kept locked away. Every day I wait. For 3 years I've longed to hear Van Heap's name echo across the world, and now, after so much struggle, I finally meet you. You two barely had time to enjoy your last peaceful moments before they attacked again. Will you be safe this time? Will you win? They outnumber us too much. The other guy taunted. Never thought you'd set up a formation in a place like this. Finding you caused me quite a headache. Trungwin glared sharply and shouted, there won't be a next time for you. Suddenly, Van Heap sensed something off about this aura, and attacked the weaker enemies nearby first, but soon the old man blocked him with terrifying power. You've underestimated him too much. Yet all his attacks were stopped, and he was counterattacked from behind. That aura just now came from the newcomer. He smirked, retracting his jade rings, clearly looking for both Van Heap and Trungwin. The sinister expression and terrifying aura revealed he was the boss of these subordinates. He said, only in moments like these can one truly feel the impermanence of the world. Trungwin seemed to suspect, recognizing his identity as he stared sharply at Van Heap. This was Xiaoan. His twisted, eerie face looked at them arrogantly and said, meeting both of you at once, it's like you both came looking for me. Van Heap couldn't believe the man before him was Xiaoan, an overwhelmingly powerful and hard-to-handle foe, so he urged Trungwin, go quickly. A smart young miss like you surely knows what to do. Facing this massive source of power and terrifying inner strength from the man, Trungwin could sense the situation clearly. If Van Heap was determined to protect her, he'd struggle against Han. But was the best thing she could do now to abandon Van Heap and leave alone? Her heart and conscience wouldn't allow that. Faced with this tough choice, the young miss froze, seemingly losing her memory. But Van Heap's words, no need to worry, shook her heart and mind even more. The image is brave and steady, definitely determined to win. Even though finding her here in the martial world already touched his reason, it made Trungwin trust him and not leave. Although those Xiaoan agents tried to block her, Han stopped them and let her go. Without Van Heap here, it would take half an hour to catch her. This is the meeting I've been waiting for, so I want to have a chill conversation. Han is the one who broke through the deadly trap of Tathian Min and held out for 10 days. Just wait a bit, once Han falls, Trungwin will surrender too, right? Meanwhile, Trungwin had to run far away, leaving Thun Nurmon. Someone was already tracking her moves. In this situation, she has to contact one of those people. If Van Heap escapes after the fight, indeed, Trungwin's gut feeling was right, someone was following her, and Han suddenly attacked from above. Luckily, someone blocked the sword in time. Donghor, along with Taehor and Namhor, arrived just in time to escort her because Trungwin is Heap's person. This was entrusted by him. He said if anyone follows or rescues him, we must ensure they escape safely. So Donghor insisted that Trungwin is someone even Huang Thut recognizes as needing protection, so please come with us. Meanwhile, Van Heap is using all his ki to deal with Xiaoan. Han has heard of you for a long time. Since you were 13, you never learned any martial arts. But reaching this level in just 3 years of hard cultivation is truly impressive. Maybe that's why Han wants to meet the young master from the rumors. Ignoring Han's words, Van Heap kept rushing forward, attacking straight at his opponent. But how strong is that guy? Han easily blocked his attacks, even with one hand. Without flinching, Han continued. Besides my master, Ma, Liert, and 2 top martial artists of the world, I've always wondered how many others can challenge Marquand like this. Then Han lunged forward, sharp as a blade, attacking Van Heap. Suddenly, the attack was blocked by Buckmere. She appeared out of nowhere, shielding Van Heap, catching Xiaoan off guard. Even in this situation, there are still people ready to back up someone truly worthy of attracting allies. It's not easy. Even with Buckmere's help, one of Xiaoan's subordinates rushed in, and Han kept attacking Van Heap with his jade ring. Han shouted fiercely, "Show some respect. I sent my subordinate who's endured a long time to come back to you, so you better focus on the fight. If you can't take me down, the result will be the same. You'll end up like that old man who still remembers you, right?" Han taunted, waving his jade ring to provoke Van Heap. He couldn't stay silent anymore. Those harsh words unleashed the boy's terrifying power. He pushed his refined internal energy through the Triumpho Napkin to the limit. using all his inner strength. Then he linked it instantly with the breathing technique of Huan Tam Quit, focusing pressure in his body to release a sudden explosive power. In a few seconds, that massive burst of power struck Ji Alert to Han directly, shaking the surroundings. But was Han defeated? What surprised von Herp so much means things aren't going as he expected. The monster before him still stood firm. That attack only scratched Han's Mark One aura and a bit of flesh, while he smirked, taunting, "Keep attacking Han." That's it for this episode, bros. Hope you drop some likes and shares to hype me up for more fire chapters.